Excuse me, don't get me wrong. I don't like Caroline that much because Caroline is two-faced and I see through it. I don't care about her. Nobody should offend Caro. Caro is a devil. Nobody should offend Caro. If you offend Caro, I hear it. Caroline will destroy your life.
No. Very careful. What you think you can do, I can do worse. Let's have this to my husband. Your husband said what you do. Your husband! Your husband! Your husband! Everyone drama. Now you see the drama. I will fuck you up here.
Child, Jesus Christ. Guys, my God. My head is hot. My head is aching. I've seen Twitter wars before, but this one that happened today between Caroline and Toyin, guys, nah, it was too shameful. It was too disgraceful. It was a lot. I didn't even know how to feel, guys. It was just a whole lot to swallow. I mean, two grown women on Twitter dragging each other like, and it was no ordinary drags, guys. We're talking about when people literally pack all their dirty linen, come to Twitter, put line, use peg to hang it in public. They say, ha! Nigerians, the world, come and see how dirty our underwears are, guys. That was just what it was this morning. And it lasted for hours. I think it lasted for about 2 hours or 3 hours. It was a lot. The tweets were just coming non-stop, non-stop. Me, where I was here, I was praying to God. I said, God, take away their phones. Someone take away the phones from these two women. Take it away from them. But no way. It was as if they woke up prepared, prepared to get dirty, to roll in the mud like pigs. And guys, they did it properly, properly. And then when they were done, I think I literally went back to Caroline's page, and I can't really find those tweets anymore. Yeah, I can't find those tweets anymore. I think she probably came back to reality and deleted those tweets. I don't know, but guys, it was a lot. It was a lot. And you know the crazy thing about it? We can't tell who was lying in all of those tweets because a whole lot was said. And I'm going to actually take out time to spell out or read out the things, the points that I got from all those their tweets. Because guys, it was a lot. But before I continue, before I get into all of that, I want to officially welcome all of you to this live stream. Thank you all so much for joining. I understand that today is a weekend and as usual, everybody will definitely have something to do with their time, but then you all made our time to join this conversation today. I am really grateful. Thank you all so much for joining. If this is your first time joining today's live stream, you are absolutely welcome. We do this on here on this channel, Francis P. Elijah, every Saturday, 3 p.m. WAT. We talk about a variety of topics, yes, that goes around reality TV shows, movies, and trending social topics. So what we're talking about today is a trending reality TV show conversation. Okay, so it all started from the episode 8 of the Real Housewives of Lagos. I mean, the drama did not really start from just yesterday's episode. It has been on there, it's been existing for a while now, but the drama that started off on Twitter today is kind of brewed from there. And it was a whole lot. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be spilling the tea on every single detail of that. And also the video I dropped yesterday, oh my God, 41 minutes video. That is like the longest video I have ever created and uploaded on this channel, Francis Spirit Elijah. And I was really scared that, oh my God, is it that you guys are going to watch this video or not? But thanks to all of you. You watched the video, you engaged it, and I took out time and I read all the comments, guys. I was in transit after uploading that video, so I couldn't really take out time to respond to all the comments. So I was driving and I literally had my brother reading out the comments to me and we're just having a good laugh. The war in the comment section was insane. And as usual, I was expecting those people that will come and defend Laura to come and say, oh, Glory, you hate Laura. And of course, it did not disappoint me because they came en masse and they were just, oh, Glory, you did not see this one well, you did not see that one well. And by the time I got home at night, I literally had to go and rewatch that episode. And I found myself questioning the sanity of some of those people that said I did not see certain things that happened. And I was wondering, like, what part of your Showmax screen or what part of that episode did you watch? There was one particular one that really got me gagging. So this one was like, oh, Glory, you lied. You said that Laura was throwing the bottled water at Caroline, whereas she just picked up the bottled water as she was covering it. It was Mariam that pushed her and the bottled water fell on the floor. I said, yeah! Such a lie. Guys, I had to go and rewatch that episode and we all saw clearly what happened. Laura was the first person that got up and extended a hand of violence to Caroline. Yes, physical violence. She picked up that bottled water, the one she had been drinking. It was open. She sealed it and then she picked it up. She was about to aim it at Caroline. It was when Mariam threw herself at her to, stop her from doing whatever she's doing, that the water fell on the floor. And I think it poured on Chioma, which Chioma mentioned later. So please, if you guys want to defend your babe, I beg, don't make it look like those of us that are watching the show, we are blind. See, we can see clearly. We can see clearly. And thank God it's on Showmax. So it's not like the show is airing on TV in real time. When you see one episode, you can't see this episode forever and ever. No, it's literally on Showmax. So in case you did not see some things that happened, kindly go back and rewatch. And don't come here to come and accuse me. I beg. I am analyzing the show based on what I see from every episode, which brings me to today's conversation, guys. I saw all the nasty things that these two women, Caroline and Toyin, were attacking each other with on Twitter. And to be very frank with you guys, I told myself, Glory, close your eyes and be blind to all those things. Because the reality is, nobody knows who is lying. We were not there when Caroline and Toyin started their friendship. The only people that can actually attest to some of those things as facts are probably Caroline's husband Musa, that was repeated a lot of times on those tweets, and probably is it Aremo? What's the name? I beg. Maybe the person that Toyin kept on referring to, or maybe one or two other parties that knew that they had a thing going on in 2009. Aside from those people, I'm sorry to say, nobody else knows if whatever those women were tweeting is actually true or false. And we also need to take into cognizance the fact that when two people are attacking each other, there's a competition on who can give the strongest clap back. So there's a possibility that most of the things that those women were tweeting are not true. Aremo, thank you very much, Amarachi Wafu. Amarachi, your eye is sharp. Yes. So before we go into all of that now, let me just read out the actual crux of the matter of those tweets, because a lot of people saw it and did not even know where the drama started from. Yes, to be very honest, me too. I searched for the first tweet to the beginning of the tweet. I did not see it, but it was a lengthy thread from both women, and this is what I got out of it. Apparently, Toyin is accusing Caroline of sleeping with her ex, number one. Number two, she is alleging that it is because of Caroline that her ex had kicked her and her daughter out of his house. Apparently, the said ex had a property, and this ex they're talking about is a married man that has a beautiful wife and, in fact, a family. So this man in question was actually dating Toyin as at that time, and so had given Toyin his property to house Toyin and the daughter. Now, from Toyin's accusations of Caroline, she had been trying to protect Caroline in all the things that she had been doing, which she was not really explicit about, because on the tweet she kept on saying, "Oh, I was protecting you, I was protecting you," and I'm wondering, what were you protecting Caroline from? Okay, but some of the things she mentioned was Caroline had been complaining that her husband, even though he was a billionaire, he was not treating her well. He was not giving her well. So Toyin's accusations or claims from those tweets were that she was the one giving Caroline money from time to time. There were times that Caroline would come to her house and cry and complain about how miserable her marriage is. She offered Caroline a shoulder to lean on, to cry on. There were also times that Caroline would come and, they would do RNG. In Nigeria, there's something they call RNG. You come to your friend's house, he will call one toy boy, like a toy boy, a guy that will satisfy Caroline's sexual cravings. And it is in Caroline's house it is in Toyin's house that Caroline and the boy, they will smash and shag. So there was a particular boy that Caroline had done that stuff with, and Caroline had given the boy a phone, which resonates with Toyin's and Laura's claims that, oh, Caroline is sleeping with small, small boys. We are coming to how Laura got into the whole mix of this whole thing. All right. So Toyin's allegations or accusations against Caroline is that she slept with her ex. It is because of Caroline that engagement with her ex of 11 years was destroyed. Now, she also claimed that she had sheltered Caroline in a hotel apartment. Even though Caroline was married to a billionaire, she was not happy. The billionaire husband was not really giving her money. Yes, okay, I've also mentioned that she accused Caroline of sleeping with a boy in her house. Anytime Caroline is sad, they will call the boy to come and make Caroline happy, via sex, like a sexual transaction like that. Caroline, on the flip side, remember last week I had granted an interview to a group of ladies on a particular social media platform, and she had said that she and Toyin, they were never friends, that they had only met based on a business arrangement which went south. So they had only been friends in 1 month. between September and October of 2009, and they had no longer been friends. They were to work on a project that Tiannah wanted to work on in Oniru, and she was to write proposals for Tiannah. It did not work out. So the impression that Caroline had given on that conversation was that whatever she had, that acquaintance that she had with Toyin, only lasted in 1 month. That was the impression she gave. But from all of these, their Twitter war, their gossips, their draggings here and there, apparently there had been more to whatever Caroline and Toyin had. Because even Caroline as well, in her tweets, she mentioned, oh, when your ex brought you to my ex's house, that's her billionaire husband's house, for a party, she had thrown Toyin out. That one is one. She had also claimed that Toyin had been lying to people that she was engaged to that man. Meanwhile, she was literally forcing the man to throw his wife out of the house and marry her, which the man refused to do because the man had discovered, via his minions around that Toyin had been sleeping around with different music artists, producers, people in the entertainment industry like that. So because of that, to even worsen the case, Toyin had been living in the house that her ex sugar daddy, let's just call it spade a spade, that her ex sugar daddy gave to her. She had been living in that house with another of her baby daddy. Hey, Jesus Christ, this whole thing is messy, even as I'm talking about it. She had been living in that house with another of her baby daddy. Like, because guys, it's so fucking ridiculous. Like, your sugar daddy gave you a house, so you have another child for another man, so you are now using the house to house the man that you actually have another child for. Hey God, this whole thing is freaking messy. But let me just try to navigate my way around this just because it's a mess. So the man had found out and had thrown Toyin out. But Toyin is now accusing Caroline that it is because she had introduced Caroline to that rich sugar daddy, that the sugar daddy, Caroline had gone to snitch on her on whatever, and the man had thrown her house out. So in Toyin's own accusations from her tweet, Caroline had rendered her and her daughter homeless. They had actually beaten her black and blue in front of her daughter. That is Toyin's claims, though, that they had beaten her black and blue and thrown her out without a penny. All the shops that she had in VI, probably that man opened all those businesses for Tiannah, but probably because of all those things, the man had taken back all he had given to Toyin. Oh, Jesus Christ. How do people get into such a huge mess in this life? Anyways, Caroline, on the other hand, was claiming that Toyin has never taken responsibility for what happened with her life in general. That anywhere that comes into her life, she blames them for having caused the destruction of her relationship with her ex sugar daddy. Meanwhile, in all of those tweets, if you read everything, Tiannah's bone of contention is that, Caroline must admit that she slept with her ex. Caroline, on the other hand, is not admitting nada. Caroline, on the other hand, is saying that Toyin does not want to take responsibility for all the nonsense that's happened in her life. Guys, to cut the long story short, Toyin now is alleging that, they gave Caroline the opportunity to come on the Real Housewives of Lagos to rewrite her story, create a name for herself. So instead of her to come on the show and be real, that Caroline has been telling lies, which we are coming to, because to be very frank with you all, I'm not really concerned about whatever dirt these people are digging up between each other, because I was not there when it happened. So it's none of my business. My actual business is what is happening on the show and how they are actually relating what they are saying on Twitter to the Real Housewives of Lagos show or Showmax. Okay? So as I was saying, Toyin's accusation is that all what Caroline has been portraying on the Real Housewives of Lagos are all lies, are all fake. That there was even a particular tweet that she said that Caroline is doing a 9-to-5 job. Caroline does not have businesses. Remember, Caroline said she's into properties, real estate, and blah, blah, blah. And there are a lot of people that have come out on Twitter to attest to that as a fact, that Caroline indeed has businesses, has an estate or two, So Toyin, on the other hand, is literally rubbishing all of that. Guys, That is just a summary of all of that plenty buzz on Twitter that we saw this morning. I mean, this thing ran for hours. And as I said before, I'm not really concerned and I'm not bothered. I'm not even interested in all of that because, as far as I'm concerned, it's easily possible that both of them are lying. It's easily possible that both of them are trying to score cheap points by saying the dirtiest and nastiest things about each other, and nobody will ever know the truth. The only way we're going to know the truth is if Caroline's husband comes out to say anything, or Toyin's husband comes out to say anything, because to round off their tweets, Toyin was actually daring Caroline to swear on her children's name that she did not sleep with her ex. Toyin's own problem is that Caroline slept with her ex. Caroline, on the other hand, is daring Toyin that if all of these things she is writing on Twitter are indeed true, then right in front of her ex-husband, Musa Danjuma, that's a billionaire husband, Toyin's ex-billionaire, millionaire sugar daddy, and their other friends that were aware of whatever they had before, that Toyin should swear in front of all of them that all what she's writing on Twitter is actually true. Now, as far as I'm concerned, from all of those tweets that I read, none of them have actually boldly accepted the challenge to swear. Yes, and in Nigeria that I come from, you guys know that in Nigeria, we are very, very superstitious people. So if they are daring you to swear on your mother's grave and you cannot do it, then it means that you people are lying, period. Hallelujah. So as far as I'm concerned, none of these ladies have actually taken up the challenge to swear. So in my opinion, it's just yans. It's just talk. And I'm not going to believe any single thing that they are all saying. But I'm going to put this out there that it was really disgusting to read. It was really irritating. It was kind of entertaining. You know, you wake up in the morning on a beautiful Saturday morning and you're thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to, and the things I'm going to talk about on my live stream today. And then you just, okay, let me just walk on the streets of Twitter. And then you see two grown ass women that are entrepreneurs, that have children, that are living their best life, having a huge platform like the Real Housewives of Lagos, that they should be showcasing their business, their talent, selling their market in a positive light to the world, you know, leaving all of those big things that they have going on for them, coming onto Twitter and disgracing themselves woefully. Guys, I was ashamed. And I was really disappointed in both of them. I was even more especially disappointed in Caroline. Because just yesterday on that episode, on episode 8, I was really cheering her on because whatever happened on that episode, it was time for her to do it. And she did it at the right time. Yes, it was long overdue for her to put Laura in her place. And I will still stand on my word over and over again. Whatever happened on episode 8 of The Real Housewives of Lagos, Laura deserved it because she had it coming from a long time, from episode 1. But I'm going to stop there with regards to the whole Twitter conversation. I thought I should explain to all of you what that was all about, to the best of my understanding. But now, I want to pick out of most of the things that Toyin said and then relate it to the show itself. From those of Toyin's tweets, Toyin said some things, or rather tweeted some things, stating that, oh, Caroline came onto the show to come and lie and say crazy things about her. And I was wondering, like, okay, but the show that I have been watching from episode 1, Caroline has never really taken out time during or outside of her confessionals to drag Toyin or even say anything nasty about Toyin. Rather, the reverse has been the case. It's been Toyin all along that has been unprovoked, dragging Caroline aimlessly. And it had constantly made us, the viewers, wonder that what exactly happened between Caroline and Toyin that's making Toyin, you know, be so vengeful and vehement with Caroline, with unprovoked, you know. I mean, Laura would do something, or maybe Toyin would do something, and then during their confessionals, you would just hear Toyin just deviate from the question they're asking her, and one way or the other, anything that she's saying, she'll just look for a way to just drag Caroline's name into her mouth. And from her tweets, she claimed that, oh, Caroline apologized to her years ago in 2009 in front of Quillox. But then, it means only that if that was really an apology, if really an apology actually happened, it means that whatever happened between the two of them, Toyin had actually not gotten over it. And then it also makes me wonder why in episode one, if she's claiming that, oh, Caroline did all sorts, why in episode one she actually introduced Caroline as a friend and then also went ahead to say all manner of nasty things about Caroline to Laura. Because, guys, my conclusion from all of those tweets in connection with Laura is that Laura possibly, I mean, there's a strong possibility that Laura would never had any discord, any grievance towards Caroline, if not for all the nasty things that Tony had been spewing to her about Caroline. Because Caroline mentioned in her tweets that since 2009, Toyin had made it her business, spreading false information about her because of her ex. And as I said, I don't know if that's true or false. But what concerns me is what exactly has Toyin been telling to Laura? Because in episode one, Laura said it, she cannot believe that Toyin actually invited Caroline to a child's product launch, even after all the nasty things that Toyin had told her about Caroline, that they both had a fallout, they used to be friends, but she would never ever be friends with Caroline anymore. And then lo and behold, she stumbles on Caroline in Toyin's event, unannounced. She wasn't even informed. And that was what I explained about people being careful about friendships in this life. And I also said it that listen, it's quite natural for two friends to gossip about and the other one of the friends' fool, right? Say for instance now somebody upsets me out there and I tell the gist to my very trusted friend that, oh, look at what this person did. It's normal for friends to have such conversations when it's not spiteful, right? It's normal. But then if you're not going to go and make peace with that person that you've been gossiping about to your friend, you need to also inform that person that you've been telling all of those gossips that, hey, this person I've been telling you about, the person probably apologized or we made peace, we made up, we're good now. So that when next your friend sees that person, he or she would have prepared their mind on how to relate with that person if need be, or if the opportunity presents itself. But when you do not inform the person and they just meet, they just stumble into each other, that your friend that has no knowledge that all people have actually made this, the person will expose you. The person would open your bonbon properly and say, oh, but I thought you said you don't like this person. And that was exactly what happened between Laura and Toyin and Caroline in episode one. And it was because if you all cast your mind back to that episode one, when Toyin was speaking during her confessionals, she said she owes nobody any explanation. She can choose to invite whoever she wanted to invite, meaning she was not remorseful at all about doing what she did or leading Laura on to think that she was still having animosities, with Caroline. And then moving on to episode two, I think when they went for Iyabo's beach party, they played a game, right? They played their game. I think it's a game of charade. And it was obviously Iyabo that was, urging the rest of the ladies to play a game. She wanted to actually, impersonate Laura. Caroline was the one that was saying that she was not comfortable about them playing that game and using Laura's name in Laura's absence. It was going to cause a lot of trouble. And I'm going to give them, all the ladies, that benefit of doubt that the show is edited. We did not get to see every single thing that happened during that beach event. During the ladies' interview, we have been told that they have spent 3 days at the beach, whereas what we saw was just a few minutes, activities. They had actually spent 3 days. So a lot of things must have happened that we are not aware of. But then, from all the conversations we've heard during all the fights and all the quarrels and everything, it was very obvious that there was nothing so damning against Laura that Caroline had said. But still, it's easily traceable to the fact that Toyin still has not found closure from whatever happened between herself and Caroline years ago, 2009. And so she had deemed it fit to, instead of reporting Iyabo Ojo to Laura that, oh, Iyabo was the one that impersonated you and said things about you, instead, she had channeled that aggression to Caroline, which also added to the fuel or the fire, that's been burning in Laura. And also probably because of the animosity that actually existed between Caroline and Laura's sister, Linda Ikeji. Mind you, the animosity is not between Caroline and Laura. It's between Caroline and Linda Ikeji, that is Laura's sister, that's a gossip blogger. So, guys, you can see how all these things are just connecting here and there, and it's really, really insane. It's insane. It's insane. And so, back to yesterday's episode. Yesterday's episode made me so happy. Yes, Caroline fought back. That was what I had been hoping for. Because you cannot constantly be poking someone's eyes, goading the person, and thinking the person would never fight back. Caroline fought back. And that 41 minutes video I did, guys, I literally explained all I want to explain on that video. But there are so many other things that I actually jotted down that I want to just focus on before I start sharing the link for those of you that have your own contributions to make. So once I'm done just listing these things out and just briefly talking about them, I'll share the link to this live stream. If you want to join, just please click on the link and let's have this proper conversation. So first things first, I call it points to note. The Twitter drags that happened this morning, it just goes to prove that Laura's hate for Caroline is all as a result of all of Toyin's gossips about Caroline. There's nothing anybody will explain to me that would make more sense, guys. Yes. I mean, it was so evident in Toyin's tweets today. Oh, you were given the show to go and rewrite your story. You came on the story to come and lie. You came onto the story to come and be fake. And which brings me to the question of, please, what is the true definition of realness, fakeness, in the context of the Real Housewives of Lagos? I asked this question last week, but I didn't really get an answer. I'm glad that there are a lot of people on here today, so I'm asking the same question again. In the context of the Real Housewives of Lagos, what does realness and fakeness mean to you? I have my own definition, but it's very obvious that from the comments that I have also read on my videos of late, I've seen that a lot of people have got this very, very twisted mindset, and some people have got this very, very interesting perspective about the definition of all of these concepts. Yeah, a lot of people believe that, oh, Laura is the only real person on the show. And I'm like, wow, okay. So in other words, the synonym for realness now is toxicity, violence, vindictiveness. Oh, well and good. I mean, everybody has an opinion, right? And then some other people believe that the definition of realness is Iyabo. Some other people believe that the definition of realness is Toyin. While some other people believe that the definition of fake is Chioma and Caroline, which is quite interesting. And then there's this vice versa, perspectives clashing here and there. So that's a question. So please, as you join this virtual conversation, I would love to hear your own thoughts, about the actual definition from your own perspective, of course, of the true definition of realness or fakeness. But let me just quickly continue. Another thing I noticed, in relation with all of the tweets that happened today, in relation to the show, The Real Housewives of Lagos, I came to the conclusion that from episode 1 of the show, Toyin, just to get back her revenge, has been using Laura to get back at Caroline. Iyabo Ojo made a statement yesterday on yesterday's episode that, she has told Toyin before that Laura is only using her to fight all her drama, to get at Caroline, blah, 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 because she needs someone to be on her side. But reading all of those tweets today, guys, it just occurred to me that no, there's no way Laura is actually using anybody. As a matter of fact, from all what I have been seeing, once again, in relation to the tweet exchange between Caroline and Toyin today, guys, it just became very, very obvious that Laura is actually a pawn in the game of revenge of Toyin. So there's been all of these things brewing up in Toyin's head. Oh, Caroline offended me. Caroline slept with my ex. Caroline caused my ex to send people to beat me up in front of my daughter. Caroline sent, what again did Caroline did? Oh, Caroline insulted me. Caroline did this and that. Caroline also apologized. But that apology probably did not get anywhere with Toyin. And so this is the Real Housewives of Lagos franchise of the global one. What a huge opportunity for one woman who has been nursing some sort of vindictiveness in her heart for a long time. Very Very huge opportunity for her to get back her own pound of flesh. Guys, that is exactly what I'm saying. Because if you ask me, I don't see any reason why. I don't see any reason, absolutely no reason why Toyin should make herself the town crier. You know, they go for an event. If Laura is not there, anything that happens, especially in regards to Caroline, you go and tell it to Laura. If they go for anything, if Laura is not there, you go and tell you, oh, Caroline said this, Caroline said that, Caroline said this, knowing fully well that Laura tends to be very, very aggressive when misinformed. Knowing fully well that Laura tends to get easily aggravated without doing her own findings, without doing her own research, without even waiting to hear a second side of the story. Laura, all she has to do, out of blind myopic loyalty, out of blind, I don't know, but out of just filthy, blind myopic loyalty, all you need to do is just tell Laura, oh, my friend, oh, somebody said this about you, or somebody is doing this to me. Laura will just, it's as if she will just wear a spiritual blindfold and she will just run into the middle of the road, into the express. I want to die for my friend. So, in my opinion, from all the tweets that were exchanged today between Caroline and Toyin, I just feel like Caroline has been using Laura all along to get back at, rather, Toyin has been using Laura all along to get back at Caroline. Yes, honestly speaking, guys, that is what I have been seeing. And I wasn't so shocked at that realization because I'd actually been wondering about it for a while. That why will a grown ass woman like Laura, that is married with kids and is so proud of having a family of her own and is constantly talking about the need and the value of family, of having to be an enigma, or should I say an icon to her kids, you know, be so uncontrollable. So I don't know, should I say she doesn't, you know what, let me just leave it. Let me possibly say. But basically, guys, that was what I also observed and noticed. And then one thing I noticed is Toyin is nobody's friend. Listen, this live stream is not to support Caroline or to drag Toyin, no. But as I said before at the start of this conversation, I am analyzing this based on the show. I don't know these ladies in personal. I don't know their lives. I don't know what they do outside of the Real Housewives show. So I'm just speaking based upon what they show to us, what they portray, what they display on the show. So please, if you have a problem with it, don't worry. I'm going to share the link to this conversation very soon. Feel free to come on here and share your own thoughts. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. So these are just my own thoughts, and I'm just about sharing that to you, okay? As I said, Toyin is nobody's friend. And you know what they say about somebody that is a friend to none. I'll be a friend to all. A friend to all is a friend to none. She tries to be in everybody's good books. I mean, look at yesterday after Laura went outside. She came back inside and she was saying some things still about Laura. Don't mind her. She says she wants to come and fight. You don't do that to your friend, especially because you are the one that actually sowed that seed of discord in Laura's heart towards Caroline. And now you're coming to come and make yourself look good. You don't do that if really you're a true friend. Oh, episode 1, Caroline is also my friend. I don't owe anybody any explanations about why I invited Caroline or not. But in episode 2, your mouth open. Wow, you went to go and be telling what's her name, Laura. Oh, Caroline said this about you. So whose friend are you then? Whose friend are you? Oh, you are a friend to Iyabo Ojo. At Laura's fashion show, Iyabo decided to put on the body hugging outfit, and your mouth was very wide enough to open during your confessionals and say, Iyabo, old woman, why you really go and wear your daughter's clothes? Iyabo does not want to grow old. How is that any of your concern? How does that add value to your title as being the fashion goddess, which I do not agree with anyways? How does that concern you? So if you are this way to everybody around you, whose friend are you? So that is just my conclusion. I felt like Toyin is not a friend to anybody. And finally, based on that Twitter conversation, both women, Caroline and Toyin, they disgraced themselves woefully. Let me go back on Twitter and check if Caroline still has those tweets on there. Okay. 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 So the tweets are still there. Okay, so the tweets are still there. I thought she deleted the tweets, but it's actually some of the tweets that are there, not all of the tweets. But they just basically disgraced each other. All right. Now, moving on to the show of yesterday, I'm just going to be brief about it. Focus questions, guys. Focus questions. What do you honestly think about yesterday's fight, yesterday's drama that happened? I spoke about how I felt about it on the video I did yesterday. If you did not watch that video, please watch it. I analyzed episode 8 as the drama unfolded, so you can catch up on that. But I would love to know your thoughts about it. Do you think Laura acted the right way? Preparing for a fight, you had gone to a meeting that was meant to be a meeting for reconciliation, but you had gone there preparing to beat up somebody, and then you went there, and then unfortunately for her, she met the reverse. Do you think Laura was actually in the right to do what she did? Right. And another thing I want to say, guys, from watching yesterday's episode, I also got to the conclusion that there's every possibility that Laura actually pre plans a drama. There's a way this girl wakes up in the morning and they say, okay, oh, ladies, you are all coming to set today. We have to record for another episode. We have to film for another episode. And then I feel like Laura has a strategy room in her house where she sits down. And then because her husband is at bestie, she probably would call him and say, oh, how do you think I'm going to be relevant today on this shoot? Or she probably does her own brainstorming. Who should be the target again? Who should be the weak link? I don't want Mariam's drama. Maria has the same kind of fiery energy like me, so I don't want to engage Mariam. What about Iyabo? Iyabo they crazy. So I've seen Iyabo go crazy on social media. Iyabo is one person I don't want to mess with, so let me not just go there. Toyin, Toyin to the crazy. So I mean, look at all the scandals that have been following Toyin year in, year out, Toyin has different baby daddy. Both of us, we have a similar story. So how do I want to insult Toyin now? There's nothing to use to insult her because you have to go. You have to think of the kind of battle you want to go into. Yeah, you cannot go into battle with somebody that both of you don't have shame. You end up disgracing each other. Not even disgracing each other. You people have nothing to lose, basically, right? So she will now look and think that so the scapegoats left now of this clique can only be Caroline and Chioma. Let me pick on Caroline based off on what Toyin has said. So I just feel like Laura has like a strategic sessions in her house before going on set to shoot. Because sometimes I look at the way she begins a drama and I'm wondering like, okay, this is completely unbelievable. I don't want to believe that this woman is like this in real life. But then I'm not going to talk anymore about that because a lot of you have actually expressed your sentiment in the comment section of my video, feel that all of that is actually the true definition of realness. So I'm going to leave it there because, hey, who am I to rewrite your own narrative or your own definition of what realness means, huh? So I'm going to leave it there. And the next thing is that, this is another question now. Laura's definition of loyalty. Guys, I'm sorry to say, if you find yourself in the kind of friendship that Laura and Toyin has, please run away because that kind of friendship will lead you to untimely death or untimely mental issues, or it will lead you to, I don't know, just basically those two things. It will either lead you to losing your sanity or it will lead you to go and kill yourself. And you see all these things people say, oh, ride or die. God forbid. I want to ride and ride, not ride and die. Because that's exactly what I noticed that Laura was expecting from Toyin. Honestly. So, this question, I'm throwing it out to you all. Laura's definition of loyalty. Do you think it actually makes a lot of sense? What is your own definition of loyalty? That is definitely not my definition of loyalty. My definition of loyalty is not ride and die. My definition of loyalty is for us to continue riding. We continue elevating each other. We continue lifting each other up. We soar higher. We go higher and higher. until we better ourselves, not until we go and die. No be so. And yeah, Toyin's definition of fake or real. Yeah, I already asked you guys that question. What is the definition of realness and fakeness? And then let's move on to Chioma. So I spoke a bit about Chioma yesterday, about how disappointed I was in the fact that when the whole charade between Laura and Caroline started, Chioma was maintaining queenly beauty. Like she did not get up, she did not do anything. Now, I don't know if the show was edited for it to look that way, but I just felt like Chioma was not quick to go in to pacify Caroline because there was about 2 or 3 sessions of the glass boots going on. The first time the bottles of water were thrown, that was the first time. The second time when Laura was charging aggressively at Caroline, and then the third time that Laura a wig literally fell off. Yes, I felt like Choma was actually very very slow. But then someone, once again, some diehard fans came on to my comment section and say, "Oh, Glory, you are lying. I saw that Choma was at Caroline's side all through." I said, "Hey, Jesus Christ. How do I convince people to go back and rewatch the episode if they actually missed out on certain things? Other than coming here to say that Glory is lying, like for real. For real. I mean, it took Choma a while before she left her queenly throne, that seat she was sitting beside Iyabo, to get up to go and pacify Caroline. Initially, Iyabo was seated, Choma was seated, then Iyabo was the one going to go and pacify Caroline, and then later, Choma too got up and went to go and pacify Caroline. And that is why I will still say that it could be that the show was edited. I mean, those people that are coming to come and say that, oh, Choma was beside Caroline all through. Maybe you actually saw clips of this episode that we did not see. I don't know. But if you have it, maybe you can send it to me on Instagram. But I'm talking about what I saw. And basically, what I said and what I'm still going to say is I want that kind of friend that if I am getting irritated, knowing fully well that both of us, we carry ourselves with so much grace, we carry ourselves with so much comportment, we carry ourselves as queens. When you see that I am about to lose my shit, I'm about to lose all of my dignity, I want that kind of friend that is going to pacify me and remind me why I am the queen that I am. I felt like Chioma was too late to doing so. I felt like Chioma was very, very slow to doing so. And to some extent, I felt like Chioma was only looking out for herself, which I felt was a tiny bit selfish, in my opinion. And I'm talking about what I saw, what was portrayed on yesterday's episode. I'm not saying that these women are crazy in real life. I'm not saying that Laura is aggressive in real life. I'm not saying that Laura is insecure, has got inferiority complex in real life, because as I will always reiterate, I do not know any of these ladies in real life. I'm talking about what we see on the Real Housewives of Lagos. It is what they portray themselves to be that I speak about. And with regards to Chioma, you all know that Chioma is my fave. I love the way she carries herself. I love her dresses, her fashion, her style, her grace, her vibes. But on yesterday's episode, I was so disappointed. And I think I could relate, or I think I was really pained because I've actually found myself in a situation like that before. Let me give you guys a short story. Just a very, very short story. So years back, I had this friend that were very, very close. Very, very close. And I adored this friend so much because you know when you grew up together with someone and you love this person so much and you are ready to literally take a bullet for this person because you're just so protective of this person. So this friend of mine has a habit, right? Whenever somebody offends this person will come and tell me, oh, just like what Toyin does with Laura, come and tell me, and that person, see what that person did, say all manner of nasty things about that person. Then when we now meet in a group setting, and that person that offended this my friend is actually present, this person will now be obviously irritating my friend, and me, I'll be trying to sort of intercede for my friend. Guess what will happen? My friend will be quiet. So instead of her to pacify me, that is actually fighting for her, she will now go and be pacifying that person. There was a day she did it. She was dating this guy, constantly complaining that, oh, the guy does not take care of her, the guy does not assist her when she needs help, blah blah blah. And me now, because I don't like seeing my friend in pain. So one of those days, she invited the guy to the house. The guy came to the house, and she now brought up. Okay, she didn't even have to bring up the conversation. Already seeing the guy, I was already upset because I know the guy. I know that both of them, they've been seeing each other for a while, for years. So I was very upset. Like, okay, why people together if you cannot help each other to grow? So the guy came to the house, and whenever he comes to the house, he will chill, carry the remote. He wants to be controlling everything. So that day, I got back from work early, and I met the guy there. The guy was just chilling on the couch. So me, I was already pissed. Like, dude, you've been offending my friend for so long. I don't want to see you here. So I sat down. I didn't even greet the guy. I was just boning my face, you know. So the guy too did not even answer me. So I didn't even look at his face. So when she now came, she was not being friendly. She now said, "Oh, and look at my friend. Say hi." She was not doing introduction. I just turned to the guy. I said, "I know you, and I don't like you." And I told the guy straight up, I don't like you. You've been mean to my friend. I don't like what you do. If you don't like her, let her go. If you like her, get your act right. So I was literally giving the guy the speech that I have been preparing in my mind for a long time since my friend started complaining. Guys, guess what? My friend, the guy too was arguing with me because the guy too is a learned person, you know. So both of us were, going at each other, goes with intellectual talks, Oh, this is how you date a woman. I was telling the guy, the guy was like, oh, how dare you? So both of us were going at each other. Guess what? My friend did the most shocking thing. She was right there. She wasn't even saying bim. She didn't even say bim. She just sat down there looking at both of us. And then I think the guy said something. The guy was like, why are you even interfering in our business? Are you the one dating your friend? My friend now went to the guy. I went to go and be pacifying the guy. That day, guys, you know when they say husband and wife matter, they pull mouth. I learned that lesson that day. In real time. This is not before series. I was shocked. I was looking at my friend like this in shock. I said, are you for real? I asked her, I said, are you for real? I mean, I'm literally here. I'm trying to help you make a statement, and you are here. And she was like, hey, don't worry, don't talk about it anymore. Hey, Jesus Christ, guys, ever since that day, nobody will carry matter and come and give to Glory Elijah for Glory Elijah. I will not pull mouth. Go and sort your problem yourself. I'm not interested. Why am I saying this? That was the kind of vibe I got from Laura yesterday. I felt like Laura is fully aware that, sorry, Chioma rather. I felt like that was the kind of vibe. Laura has been coming at Chioma and Caroline from time to time, episode by episode. And then this was the opportunity that Caroline was using to speak her mind, kind of on behalf of both ladies, by the way. And Chioma just sat down there, guys. No way. No way. I felt really sad. I felt really offended about that. And I said, no way. You don't do that to me as a friend. But this is where I'm going to pause. And right now I'm just going to go ahead and share the link of this virtual conversation because I know that a lot of you have a whole lot to contribute. So I'm just going to go here and drop the link, okay? So if you have anything to say, if you have anything to contribute, all you have to do is just click on the link that I'll be sharing right now, and you'll be a part of this conversation, okay? And listen, I noticed that a lot of you don't like using your videos. Don't worry, it's fine. You don't have to use your video if you don't want to, but you have to use your audio so that we can hear you. So I'll share the link. If you want to be a part of this virtual conversation, click on it and I'll add you right now. So whilst we are waiting for those of you that want to join, let me just quickly read out your comments. Umoru said she didn't talk in Mariam's house because Mariam said she don't want drama in her house and she don't want to be embarrassed. Okay. Laura said, yes, Caroline is terrible for saying that about Laura, like she has facts about Laura being print. Okay. Hi, Natural Oma. Good to see you here. Let me see. Okay. So L says Carol won the fight. Guys, the link is in the comment section. Click on it so that you can join this conversation. Okay, so we're having people coming on here now. And please, if your background is very noisy, just look for a quiet space, to have this conversation, or else that everybody can hear you. So Elle said, Carol won the fight. You all should rest. They have been throwing shade at her. She defended herself. It's now a problem. She doesn't insult anyone in her confessionals, too. I agree with that. Hello, Mrs. Adams. Hello.
Hello, Gla- hello, Gla-
Hi. Good afternoon.
hi. Good afternoon.
Good to have you on
How
here.
are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are
Thank
you? How's your Saturday
you.
going? Mm-hmm. How's your Saturday going?
Well,
Okay.
sorry.
So you know,
Well, thank you.
okay, Mrs. Adams, you know what we should do? I think your
Yeah.
connection is really fluctuating. So that we can hear you clearly, I would
Oh,
suggest I remove you and then you join without your video. You can join with your
okay.
audio. That way we can hear you clearly. Okay? All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So I'll remove you. I'll remove you, Mrs. Adams. Use only your audio. All right. Switch off your video. Switch off your video. Okay. So there's Olori here. I'm adding Olori. Mrs. Adams, just say that and then I'll add you again. Hello, Olori. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. We have Zen Africa. Hi.
Hi, good evening. I don't
Good
hear
evening.
me.
You know, I'm super excited to have you on here again. I remember you joined us, I think, when the show started. We haven't seen you for a while, but you're welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I know you have a lot to say. Let's hear from you.
Yes, Glory, Glory. I'm about to do something right now. Glory, I feel like you don't like Laura at all. Oh.
No, speak your
Like
mind.
I
Speak
feel
your
like
mind. Go ahead.
I feel like you don't like her though, because in your analysis, I was watching it. I was like, Glory, calm down now, because there was this thing you did when you said about the fight, and then you made the analysis look like they were talking about only Laura when they were talking about only Laura and Caroline. That thing when they were giving their commentary, um Tiannah and what's her name again? Auntie, hey God, oh. Tiannah
Iyabo.
and the other Auntie Iyabo, yes, Auntie Iyabo. That commentary, they're talking about the both of them, saying that if they wanted to fight, they should lock them inside the room and let them fight very well. But when I saw your commentary, you were making it seem like as if you were talking about only Laura. I feel like Laura has her faults too, but if I don't know about that story Caroline is saying about Laura being pimped. But from Laura's side, she was not pimped. And when Caroline was saying Laura was being pimped, I was like, how do you know that she was pimped? Like, what are you doing there? Like, for you to be so sure that they came there to pimp her. Are you sure they did not go there to pimp her too? Because for you to be in a place and you're like, oh, this person was pimped. Like, how are you so sure that this person was pimped? That means you too, you went there to go and be pimped too. Do you get where I'm coming from? And seeing Laura and her
Hmm.
husband, it was not like, except maybe she told him before the shoot, because the way they were having that conversation, it didn't seem like a dishonest conversation. It looked like she was just telling him, oh, look at where you took me to, and look at what this person is saying about it. And if Caroline was really lying, anybody would be upset about that situation, because you're basically calling someone a prostitute to her face. And if she's not a prostitute, she's supposed to be upset about it. And Laura is somebody that does not know how to hide her emotions. That's why that thing went from 1 to 100. I don't know if Caroline is lying or not, but if she's lying, then I understand how Laura acted in that situation. And for
So
Chioma, I don't even know what to.
That's
You said?
Africa. Before you talk about Choma, let me just quickly defend my honor. Okay. So
Okay.
I don't know if you joined us at the start of this live stream. I said that whatever these ladies accuse
No, I
each
was not
other
talking
of,
about the live stream. I was talking about the your review on episode 7.
yes,
I did not join at the
yeah,
beginning of the live stream. I
yeah,
watched your review.
I know what you're referring to. I'm trying to give a preamble. Okay, the preamble will help you understand what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying,
Okay.
that whatever these ladies accuse each other of, I don't care because I don't know if they're lying or not. And I said that it's a normal thing that in the midst of fight or argument, people would want to score cheap points by throwing some truth or lies, whatever, at each other. Is a prime example is what happened on Twitter this morning between Caroline and Toyin. They said a lot of things, disgraced each other terribly. And the truth is, nobody knows who is lying or who is telling the truth because this thing happened in 2009 and we were not there. The only person that can tell us it is
Yeah.
true is if there was somebody that is experienced that was following them in all of their activities and all of their businesses. And so I will not comment on that and say, oh, they are lying or not. Now, in relation to you saying it looks like I don't like Laura, I'm sorry, but I think you should watch. Maybe okay. Maybe you should try and understand when I'm giving my reviews, right? I in that argument we were having yesterday, I was actually saying that Caroline was standing her ground and saying all what she said. I did not say, oh, what she said is the truth. What she said is the fact. I said, Caroline said Laura is killing her husband. Laura did this and that. I was basically repeating what Caroline said. And I was also repeating what Laura said. Laura was also throwing curses of untimely death to Caroline.
Jobs, yes.
Yes, it was clear on the episode. And I wasn't saying, oh, Laura is right to say that, or Caroline is right to say that. What's my business? My own is Caroline was right in finally responding to all of Laura's attacks. Because as far as I'm concerned, Laura has actually been saying a lot, as we've all been seeing. And
Yeah.
Caroline, to some extent, has been really trying to put herself together. And as you said, Laura does not know how to hide her emotions. It takes one that really has a high level of emotional intelligence to be able to do that. And Caroline has been trying to show that. But there's only so much someone can take. And if you look at the statistics, the population of people that were actually in support of Caroline fighting back yesterday, it's actually 99% to 1%. It's only a 1% of people that were actually saying or trying to make Laura the victim. The truth is, if someone has been constantly bullied or spoken ill about, and people have been a witness to it, people will be looking forward to the day that person will fight back. And that was what happened yesterday. Caroline fought back. And if you think about it, if you look at the reaction on social media, people were not really concerned about the details of what was said. No, it was more about the action of one person who's been victimized, or let's call it bullied, finally speaking up for themselves. And I mentioned that yesterday at the beginning of that video. I believe you watched it, but I said, for me, it's like a case of redemption. Caroline redeeming her image with Laura. Laura did not expect Caroline to fight back. And that was why she left that place, honestly. So I will say this again, you know, I don't hate or like this person. If I say Chioma is my fave, she's my fave not because I know her, but because I love her style. And I think I'm allowed to like any of the cast style. I like her style. I like the way she speaks. I like the way she comports herself. And before you came on, I just explained that I did not like the fact that she did not stand up on time to defend or support Caroline. Right. So I just like should put that out there. So please, I do not hate Laura. Please. It is what I see on the show
Okay.
that I hate. All right. So please continue.
Okay. And I was looking at the message that Laura dropped. I feel like if there was no situations where she has been angering them before, that message was not that deep. So it's coming from Iyabo or somebody else. They wouldn't have taken it that seriously. And I don't like it when somebody lies. Like I feel like if somebody has been doing something to you, and you want to call the person out, but don't lie on national TV that the person has been pimped. Do you get where I'm coming from, Glory?
But
Like
we
you
never know
don't,
if
it's
it's a lie.
very,
It's the truth.
we don't know
We don't
if
know if
it's
it's a
you
lie.
lie or a lie but I'm just imagining if it was a lie. Like you don't lie that somebody, and I know that Laura has been doing too much. Like I feel like she doesn't know how to hide her emotions, and she's this kind of person. Like from the way she speaks, she looks like if she has a friend that she wants that friend to be by her side. But I've not really seen her in situations where her friends have gotten into trouble, how she stands by them. So I cannot really say give a character analysis of why she's expecting so much from Toyin. And for Chioma, I don't even know. I feel like sometimes there are times when you don't need to be prim and proper. And that
Yeah.
was one, like your friend is fighting and then you're sitting down and staring at them. I understand the Iyabo just sitting down and staring at them because she does not have anybody that she does not have anybody that she's that close to in on the
Yeah.
show to start saying, oh, this person is my ride or die. But for Chioma and Caroline, I just expected Chioma to stand up and give Caroline some support.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that's basically all I have to say.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much then. Thank you very much
You're
then.
welcome.
Mrs. Adams
Yeah,
was
thank
actually
you
here,
too.
guys. Just exercise patience. You all are absolutely welcome. Debbie, you're welcome. Latricia, I'm super excited seeing your faces. I know a lot of you have a lot to say, so just exercise patience. Mrs. Adams, you're welcome back. Please, let's hear from you. Hello, Mrs. Adams.
Hearing me?
Okay, yes,
Hello?
yes, can hear you now.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good to hear from you again after Big Brother.
Ah, you're welcome back.
Yes, I've been following you since then.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Okay.
So
See what
let me ask you this question first of all, before you say anything, all right? What
Mhm.
does realness mean to you, and what does fake means to you in the context of the Real Housewives franchise?
Oh, in my own opinion, realness means you being yourself. Do it the
Okay,
way it is, the way you feel like doing it, exactly the way you are, in your
okay,
normal way, the way you can do things. That is what
um,
realness is to me.
okay. And what does
Yes.
fake mean?
Fake means when you see people, you do something else. When you're on your own, you now do something else. For me, that is fake.
Okay,
You
all right.
understand? For me, that is fake. Though at times you might be in a group of people, you don't really want to act like the way you act at home. Do you
Yes,
understand? You just want to put yourself together. Like it's
yes,
not anyhow, just like I'm in my bedroom now, I relax, I put my leg here, put my hands there. You don't expect me that when I go outside, I will not put my leg there and put my head there. Do you understand?
mm,
So
yes,
you try to, it's not every time you act like the way you act when you're at home. No. So that
mm,
is why most times when they say somebody is real or fake, our Niger way of saying someone is fake and somebody is real, I don't really understand it because you don't expect me to act the way I act at home, exactly the way I will act in the office. It shouldn't
mm,
be. You should have your domestic way of acting and you should
mm.
have your official way of acting. They are two different
Word,
things.
word, word.
Yeah, they are two different things. I'm an
Thank you
official
very much.
person. The way I most times when I get to my office, I try to drop. In fact, as immediately I enter my car driving to the office, I will drop my domestic attitude at home. When I get to
Exactly,
the office, yes, I'm a boss. I have to put up that bossy attitude. Not really, I'm bossy. Not that I'm bossy, no, but that official attitude, I will put it up there. You don't mix the
exactly.
two. Yes. Likewise, when you are in a gathering of people, you don't really come and act. There's a way you act, you look so timid, and there's a way you act, you look so petty.
Hmm.
So you have to differentiate the both. That is what I feel.
Thank you
Yes.
very much. Thank you very much. Well put. So, what do you think about the whole Twitter war, the fight yesterday? What do you think about it?
Honestly, it's funny and it's not funny. I really, 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 I'm shocked to my bones how full-grown adults will just like be so messy like that. I ask again, like, is there no true friendship anymore? Does it mean that
Hmm.
at your damn time you don't have a friend to talk to? Must
Hmm.
everything be spilled out on the public when you guys are fighting? Must you guys fight dirty? Is really so? What is the classiness, the big girl? Everything in life is not money. Everything in life is not about wealth. I have money, I have this, I have no. I think, man, this has really gone beyond it. I just look at it
Hmm.
and laugh. Like these people are not really the way I think they are. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Especially Laura, that is a married woman. You should put yourself together. If you don't want them to drag your family, you should first of all keep short. You should maintain how you talk to people because nobody has a monopoly of insults.
exactly.
Everybody has their in every action. There's a reaction. You don't keep on tormenting me and expect me to be mute all the time. You push me to certain level, I will react. Do you understand? Yes.
Yes.
You can't keep on calling somebody is a baby mama, is a divorcee, is that. You not feel like, okay, since you're married, therefore, you have monopoly of insult. You have monopoly of what you can tell people. No, I am married with two kids. In fact, I am married for like 20 years now.
Wow.
I know how I respect myself. I know people I can talk. In fact, there are some things people ask, I'll just ignore it. Why? I want to respect myself and respect my marriage and respect my husband. Because when they are dragging you, they are equally dragging your husband.
Of course.
Honestly, I pity that poor man, Laura's husband. Because each time Laura comes with her basketballs, the next target is her husband. They will keep on telling her husband how she's feeding him.
Yeah.
No man, I repeat, no African man would like that kind of a thing to say, even though you are feeding your husband, no African man would like to hear that the wife is feeding him or her. For me, there is nothing wrong with you helping your husband out, but bringing it for people to bring it out. And she is the one causing making people to bring it out all the time. Because of how she talks to people. The people will now use her husband. See, when you guys are fighting, when two people are fighting, everybody is trying to throw whatever that will hurt you the most.
Exactly.
You know? So that is why you don't even fight at all. You should respect yourself. Even though they are right now, nobody knows whether they are lying or not. But my sister, the most important, the thing is this: everybody wants to throw the one that you go and hit, you go and hug transformer.
You're right. Thank
So
you. Thank you so much.
yes. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adams. Miss Debbie, please let's hear from you.
I will go hawk transformer. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Good to be on your show, Glory.
Thanks for joining. You're welcome.
Yes. It's been a lot, like seriously. I saw the Twitter thing, but like you said, I agree with you on it. It's not something that we know. It's just between both of them. It's just war of words.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can say, oh, she's right, because no one was there, you
Yeah.
know. So we can't hold them to the words they threw at each other. But if we go back to the show, the one we just recently, what is episode 7 or 8, the one that just had, the recent fight, I would say, because there's the animosity between the ladies, I think when they are together, they just put up a fuss, like this is how we want to present ourselves. But in their confessionals, it's the real them, because they tell you this is how they are outside. They relate whatever they say on the show to how they are outside. You will hear this one say, because if it is outside, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. So the lifestyle on the show does not marry who they are, outside. It's what they want to portray to us that we see. And that's what they are giving to us. And the show wants that as well, because the show thrives on animosity. The show thrives on trouble. The show thrives on it. Makes everybody talk about it. If there's nothing like that, we won't be here having this conversation.
True. True. Thank you very much, Debbie.
Yeah.
Latricia, are you still there? Hello,
Yes,
Latricia.
yes, I'm here.
Latricia, how is your body temperature after yesterday's episode?
Hey, I
How is
must
your
just say, I want to. Okay, thank you for welcoming me, Glory. I want to say, Caroline did the most honorable thing yesterday. And you know what makes it honorable? It's because she did not start it. And what Mariam did when after Laura said, I'm going to be physical, what Mariam did confirmed to us, the viewers and the producers and whatever, that Laura is the one who started the fight. because she jumped to, so that was confirming, because most in girls fight, this one will say this one started, this one did. So it was clear that Laura started the fight. Caroline was retaliating, and she had to do it. It is no longer, that is where realness comes in. You cannot stand in here and see the lion is coming. You are going to react, whether you are dishing out the news on TV or whatever. You are definitely going to react. That is danger coming, and you don't know the extent of the danger. And it is also clear that she came there. I want to agree with you that she came there knowing that she's going to do something. She wants to cause trouble by virtue of her removing the earrings. Yes, reasons are many. Reasons are many to that, but it relates. It makes sense to all of us who were watching. And I also want to say about Chioma. Chioma, I love her as well, but she disappointed me yesterday. And that is a part of her that I want to say I don't like. And there is this thing in life that we call a girl's code, a friendship code. If you are my friend, no matter how wrong you are, no matter how bad the situation can be, I have to still remain being your friend, but be honest with you and say, my friend, you messed up this time. But it doesn't change the fact that you are my friend. I remember having a situation where there was a threesome, and my friend is on the bad side of it. And I said to the guys, you know what? There is nothing wrong in me being on her side. I'm on her side because she's my friend, but it doesn't mean she is right. This time she is wrong, but she is still my friend with her wrongness. And I will tell her as well that she is wrong on this one. You know what you're doing? You are complaining to the other people that they must not come and badmouth her on me, so that they must know that I'm still going to talk to her. She's still my friend. I'm on her side on this one. So Chioma, yes, we don't know the level of their friendship and all that, but on the show itself, on the Real Housewives and all that, from what we see, we thought she is one of the people that are close to her. And with what she said at the campaign, whatever, the giving of things, she introduced her as her friend. And now, to make matters worse, Laura has been tormenting both of them almost simultaneously, equally so. You understand? So, but for her to sit there while Caroline is standing, we are not saying she was supposed to come in and attack Laura as well on behalf, but then to show the moral support on Caroline. Caroline was on her own on that one. Yes, I appreciate her because she stood her ground still, you see? So she was not asking for any support for any votes. But Chioma, it showed her level of I don't know, her level of intelligence when it comes to friendship is questionable. Let me put it that way. I was really not impressed. That's not how a friend should behave. Toy, is it Toy, Laura's friend?
Yeah,
Going back to the dinner, Laura was down and all moody and all that and behaving. Toy made it clear that this one is my friend, and she gave her the necessary support, wrong as she is, and admitting as well herself that she is wrong to behave like that. But she showed her that, but you're still my friend, I'm supporting you. And equally so, on the last episode, she showed support. She was holding her friend. She was with her friend, on the side of her friend, right or wrong, but she was with. And remember, they just had an entanglement. Remember, there was just after their argument about Laura complaining about you were too much and all those things. But then she still remembered the girls' quote, that we are still in the same building. We came in as friend. That means we're going to come out as friend. Whatever that happened, we will sort it out behind the closed doors. You understand? So that is what I saw in Toyin. Yes, she also has her own things, but on that one, I hope and wish that Laura sees it, that no matter what, even when the ladies are there, but then she makes it a point that she supports me. Maybe on others she didn't, but I appreciate her because there on the scene of yesterday, it mattered the most. You need a friend there. In a situation of yesterday, you really need a friend, and that is where you will see who is your friend. So Chioma, I was really disappointed in her. And Laura, I don't know, I stand for correction on this one. There is somewhere where she said the message that she sent, it was not malicious.
Yeah, she said
okay. I want to disagree with her on that one. If the message that she sent, it was not malicious, she meant well, she didn't mean to fight, obviously she was going to react in that fashion when they respond to say, no, ladies, I wasn't fighting. I was merely trying to correct the wrongfulness of this or whatever. She was going to do that. And then if they continue fighting her, that's where we would expect her to fight more. But she was going to make it clear. And if she was not directing it like she is claiming, but that one it's a lame excuse to say it was not directed to Chioma and Caroline, but because it was clear she wrote their names. Chioma even said, "You write my name in full. You have a name." You understand? So that one is clear. It was just an excuse. But if she meant well in that message, and if the message was not malicious, and even if maybe really it was not malicious, according to me it was malicious, it was not malicious, and it's only that they interpreted it wrongly. She was going to respond immediately there and then to say, no, ladies, why are you acting like that? I was just correcting, or I was just commenting about it, something like that. But because she meant, she was ready, she was provoking them. That was a pure provocation.
Exactly.
So for the other ladies to respond the way they responded, yes, they still have to take responsibility. But then they are still emotional beings as well. Not to say I'm taking Caroline's side, but she is an emotional being. And taking their journey from episode 1 until the episode 7 and 8, I mean, in all honesty, guys, Caroline has been trying to stomach all these things. Remember when she defended Laura to say, no, let's not act her when she's not here. I don't know what they were having. It was still in the beginning. That shows that she had. Yes, and on top of that, she already knew that Laura is a sister to someone who was a blocker, who did this, who damaged her name and all that. You understand? But then she still had that thing to say, no, let's not do this. But the same Laura said, I'm going to slap her if I was there. So Laura came there with an intention. We don't know. Maybe she was targeting her and Chioma. Unfortunately for Caroline, she didn't have the right, let me say, a loyal friend. Let me put it that way, because what Chioma did is not loyalty. It's not friendship. It's pure. You cannot sit there and be shocked. Iyabo, for her to sit there and be shocked, yeah, like you said, she doesn't have a strong alliance with anyone from what we see. So it's understandable for her to sit there and say, hey, I don't want to catch smoke on something that you understand. But which I strongly believe that because the matter was being handled by other people. But I think if those people are not there, she was going to end up standing up just to avoid violence, to stop whatever that was happening. You see? So, but for Chioma, I expected her that she is going to stand up and be on Caroline's side. Okay, not holding her because she wasn't really that acting, but then on her side, in case really danger comes where she needs to protect her or to assist her. You see, so for now, that is all from me, Glory. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Letitia. There was a point you raised, which we're going to touch on, but I'm going to ask the next speaker. So please stay tuned. There's a question I want to ask you about realness and fakeness. But let me go ahead to Baba Ayo. Baba Ayo, are you there? Hello, Baba Ayo.
Hello, Glory.
Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome.
How are you, Glory?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
I've been wanting to join your live stream since day one, since last year, but I couldn't. But today I do. All I want to say is you are doing fantastic. You are doing great.
Thank you. Thank you.
But whatever I want to say about this Real Housewife of Lagos is different. And what Lucretia said, I agree with her. Totally agree with her. I totally agree with whatever Lucretia said. She is on point, whatever she said. The fact that we don't know these people, like you used to say, we don't know them from Adam. It makes it different. I've been wanting to join you. That is all I want to say. Thank you, Glory.
Thank you
very
so much. But before you leave, I'm super excited that we're having a male voice here. So let me just leverage on this huge opportunity. I'm super excited. What is your own definition in the context of the show of realness and fakeness?
Wow. Glory, realness. Let me use the cast of the show to define realness. To me, realness is Iyabo Ojo in this show. She's too real. She's doing everything real. She's not faking anything. She's behaving. She's being herself. She's not adding or removing anything. To me.
Okay.
And then fakeness, I will say, is Laura. And then I will add Chioma and Caroline. Yes. That is fakeness. My own point of view. Do you understand
Yeah.
where I'm going?
Yes, yes, I'm
Laura,
with you.
Laura, she's adding extra. That is, she's fake. Adding extra. She will do this, and later she will behave like she's the victim next. She's doing it on purpose next. You cannot even define what she's doing. Is it that she knows she's in the show, she wants to gather something, or what? Or she wants to define the show, or is it that she is herself? We can't say. We can't define Laura.
Yeah.
Then for Chioma and Caroline, I don't. I know ladies. They are too calm and collected sometimes that I don't even like it. It's not that I don't like it, but I don't like feel safe sometimes when they are behaving too mature, too and somebody is saying something but you are behaving so collected, so calm. I don't understand. What are you doing? React, don't say it. I know ladies they tend to react immediately, but sometimes you just see Chioma and Caroline just looking at people so fashionably, watching everyone, and then later they will just say one or two things. I don't think that is real. Do you
Yes,
understand?
yeah, I understand you, but you also know that there are also people that are slow to react. I'll use myself as an example. I
Okay.
am very slow. I'm very slow to catching people's thoughts. Take for instance, if you're talking to me and you say something derogatory to me, or you say something to insult me, because my mind is not tuned in a way that I am constantly expecting people to come at me. I don't
Yeah.
easily catch it. So I'm the sort of person that when I have a conversation with you and you throw
Okay.
a lot of shade, a lot of derogatory words, it is when I get home and I'm, thinking back, going back into introspection, oh, how was my day? Who did I talk to? And now start and reanalyzing conversations that I've had, that I now
Yes.
think about that, this person said something to me. That's when I start reacting in my head and I end up just sweeping it under the carpet, like, you know what, it's past. So
But,
there are some people like that that are not very quick to reacting. So don't you think probably that's
but
how these other
can't you
people could
remember what
be?
Chioma said? Ignore, 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 ignore. You can't be
Yeah,
ignoring for the rest of your life. That when somebody is always coming at you, always trying to attack you, your fashion sense, your lifestyle, everything, and then you will be saying ignore, ignore, ignore. So you won't react. You will react
yeah.
now. Even if you get it
Yeah, I
later,
think you
but
have
you
a
will
point.
react.
I
Do you
think you have a
understand?
point. Yeah, and I kind of agree with you about their excessive self control because I can see that about I'll take Chama for instance now, and I'll still refer back to the fact that before the show I had been following her on social media. So to some extent, I have seen what she portrays online. And what she portrays online is someone that got her comportment game on top notch. I have
Okay.
never ever seen or heard any kind of scandal about Shoma before. Never. But I can say that I have heard a whole lot about three other ladies on the show, right? Or three or four other ladies on the show, right? I'm not
Okay.
saying that none exist. I'm just saying that from what I have seen. So on the show, looking at her, I cannot really say that is she overly being control and being in control of her emotions, but also from what she says sometimes, protecting her brand and all of that. But I totally agree with you as well because sometimes you just
But
want to
Glory,
listen.
I'm sure you are aware she is a barrister. She's a lawyer.
Oh yeah, yeah, she is. She is.
You know lawyers. They know what to say. They know how to react. You know they can act lawyers. Now I just want you to remember she is a lawyer, and then she has even practiced it for some years, I think. So they know what to say.
She's a lawyer too.
Yeah,
Lutisha is a lawyer too.
yeah, no, it's the truth now. They know what to say, when to react, and what to do. They know it.
Yeah,
That is why. So, Glory,
yeah.
before I leave, I want to remind you that I know you know me, but you don't know that this is my father's name. I am Fahiz. Thank
Oh
you.
my God. Wait. It's not going anywhere yet. Guys! Oh my God! Oh my God! This is great. why I'm going crazy. Faiz has been on my channel for the longest time. Every
Yes.
single video I upload on my channel, Faiz drops a comment. Oh my god! Faiz, this is rich. Thank you so much for joining today. Ah! Oh my
I'm
god!
I'm your fan. I will be your fan, even if I'm dead. I will be
Oh
your
my
fan,
god!
Glory. Thank you,
Oh my
Glory.
god! Thank you
Thank you,
so
thank you,
much.
thank
Please
you, Glory.
make more appearances on my live stream, please. It's
Insha-
a
I will
pleasure
be
having
making more appearance, inshallah. Thank you,
you.
Glory.
Please. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Glory.
much.
Thank you,
Wow.
Glory.
Okay. Oh my god, that was really fun. Wow. Okay. Woo. Sorry, sorry guys, I'm being very dramatic. Okay, let me just quickly move on to Waiting Jojo. Waiting Jojo, you've been giving us your beautiful smiles for the last couple of minutes. I would really love to hear your own thoughts about all the drama that was displayed on the show on episode 8. And if you have anything to also say about the Twitter drama today, please just proceed.
Oh, Glory, hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Fine. Thanks for
Can you hear
joining.
me? Yeah, can you
Yes,
hear me? Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Um, anyway, nice job. You're a good moderator. Nice job on
Thank
that.
you.
And actually, I just went on Twitter because my sister told me, oh, there's so much drama going on with the Real Housewife of Lagos. I didn't even look through the tweeters, a lot of the tweets coming from Caroline and Tiannah. But I knew it was drama, so I was just like, it's part of the game. The franchise Real Housewife of Lagos is it's new to Nigerians, but for anybody who is lived in the States, it's not new to many of us because we know how this road. It's always dirty mercy. If anybody's watched New York, Orange County, New Jersey,
Potomac.
Atlanta, it's
Yeah,
always like this. And let me tell you, they go in. I mean, you've had people who come on the show who husbands serve time. They ended up going to jail. Just, things. So the show can be a blessing and curse, just like any other reality show.
yeah.
I hear some people who come like on the show say, oh, grown women. I'm like, anybody who's watched the Jersey Housewives and the Housewives of Atlanta, sometimes things get physical. But here's what I
Yeah.
want to draw. I don't know what kind of contracts the ladies for Real Housewives of Lagos signed with Showmax. And I have to say why. Because Laura has been absent in the promotion of this show. Has anybody noticed that?
Hmm.
Look, when the show premiered, she was not at the premiere.
You're right.
Likewise, yes, because that's what I'm saying. You don't like out here, you don't sign a contract with Bravo to be on any of their franchise. Once it's completed, you don't want to renew your contract, then you're out. But how do you sign up a contract? That's why I say Nigeria, the rule of law there don't make no sense anyway. Because I'm like, she's not on the promo of any of the shows. She's not in any of the campaign of the shows. Even I know three of the ladies showed up in the AM, or four of the ladies on the show, three showed up on AMVCA. They've done some media campaign here and there, but she's not on any of that. Obviously, my question is, you didn't want to be part of the show from the get-go. Why sign up? Why sign up? Don't sign up for it. Honestly speaking, to Laura fans, I'm sorry, a lot of them are clueless. The woman, as far as I'm concerned, is insecure because we all know the backstory of the cages. It's Lara that made them rich. They're not like old rich like the Ote dollars, the Dangotes. You understand what
Linda.
I'm saying? Exactly. So when you see women who are outstanding, classy, maybe if there's there can be a word for that. You see women who are successful in your corner and you cannot be in that midst and you're intimidated to every little thing you pick on these women. then you got a problem. If you didn't want to be on the show, nobody forces you to be on the show. If you're comfortable at home being with your kids and your husband, you don't want camera 24/7. You did not have to be. When you sign up for that show, most people sign up their life on that show.
Hmm.
Honestly, they sign up everything on that show. If you watch the Real Housewives over here, you know how it is. If anybody who is here knows Nene Leaks, what she went through, her life is completely out there. She made
Yeah.
money for that
Yeah.
show. She made money for the Real Housewives franchise. One person, you see, this show it could be a blessing or a curse. You can come out of that show and triple up like this. I
Yeah.
want to talk about this lady they call Bethany. She's part of the
Mm.
cast of Real Housewife of New York. She left that show. Now they're trying to get her back. She said, Bravo can't pay me. She
Hmm.
said, Bravo can't pay me. So when you go on that show, you need to be able to play the game. Laura cannot play the game. Or for her, it's always bad energy every single time. You have to be able to say, how do I build my brand? How do I do something for myself? What do I take from here and go out there to do for yourself? And there's one of this actress who came to Real Housewife of Atlanta, Kim Fields. She's an actress. She came into the show for Real Housewife of Atlanta for one season. Anybody who is a Real Housewife OG can say it. She came to Real Housewife of Atlanta one season. She left. She said, "This is not for me. I am a professional actor." So if you know you, if that's why I said I don't know what kind of contract they signed up with Showmax. You've not been on any of the promo of the show. If it was over here, she will be sued. That's what it is. You've shown from in and out of the show that you don't want to be the cast. And please, because in Nigeria, things fly because it's who you know. Some people will try to bring out next season for the show. If you don't want to be part of the show, just leave the show. If you can play the game, then leave. When you put group of women together, it's nothing but happiness. That's all I got to say. I don't think I
Jojo,
have much to say.
Jojo,
Yes.
don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. This is a very angle that you brought up, and I would love to pick your
Mhm.
brain more about it. Caroline had a conversation, more like an interview last week. And she actually spilled a lot with regards to the producers of the show. And I felt like if you have signed the contract, are you really allowed to disclose this much information whilst the show season is still airing? I talked about it on my some videos back. Yes, I think one of the videos I did on Monday. I can't remember. But the question I want to ask is talking about the contract signed now, as one who has been following the Real Housewives franchise for a long time now, do you think that with all that spillage that Caroline gave, do you think she actually really did sign a contract? Because she talked about not being paid. She talked about, oh,
Paid. Yeah.
they were promising to give her honorarium. She spent 30 million of her own money on her own things. I mean, I felt like that was just a lot of revelation that she actually gave. And I'm thinking normally when you sign such a contract, then the producers they have every right to take it up if they want. So what do you think about that? Do you think she actually really, or do you even think these ladies really signed a contract at all?
Honestly, I don't know how the franchise in Nigeria, how they played out the legal framework, because the law in North America is different from the law in Nigeria, or in the law in the US is different from the law. When you sign up with many of these big multimedia company, even if it's BET, even if it's Love and Hip Hop with what they call them, um with MTV or this thing, sometimes some of your contract clause require NDA. Yeah, people follow, people respect the law. But in Nigeria, nobody gives a damn. That's why I'm sorry, our country is where it is. So now I don't know if I don't want, I was surprised when she said she wasn't paid. I was like, so why put yourself through 13 seasons to get into a fight, to dress up, to do that? So what was she getting? What was that word? that she was getting from it. Whatever she calls it. What was she actually get? What was the financial gain that
Yeah.
she's going to get from it? But well, it is what it is. Honestly speaking, I don't know how this is being marketed and how this is being shaped, legally speaking. But I just think, yes, how I think of some of the ladies on the show, or what, honestly, I just feel Laura needs to be out. Season one, strike out. You don't want to be participate. You have no interest. Just leave. You know. Bring somebody who wants something. And I think maybe because they all have, but if you look at most of the franchises, people kind of know each other somehow. Somehow you know of somebody before you get there. And you just play within the circle. Because over here, many of these shows has brought many of these ladies from nobody to somebody. Nobody knew who they were. Nobody know who Portia is, and today now everybody know who Portia is. Candy was successful. She was a singer before she came to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But eventually, she grew more from the show. People are even saying that if she leaves the show, she'll be fine.
So
But
let me ask
some
you a
of
quick
them,
question.
yeah.
Let me
Hmm.
ask you a quick question. So there's this perception over here that Laura is the show, that Laura is the one bringing the drama, and you are of the opinion that Laura should leave because obviously she's not really promoting her brand the way she should be. So the question is kind of intertwined. Do you think this Real Housewives show will
Listen.
work?
What is the drama? She has not promoted this show. She never went to the premiere. She never did anything marketing campaign for the show. So how is she the show? So what we've been seeing of her is just been bad vibes or bad energy. Well, maybe it's drama for other people, but I don't know if that's drama. I mean, you could give a little bit of that, but there needs to be an equilibrium. You can't start a show from the beginning to the end. First, you were mad at somebody,
Yeah.
said you are not a friend, you're a customer. I don't see no big deal. I don't understand why a grown woman will be waiting for acknowledgement of friendship from another grown woman. I don't understand the word these people. But I notice in our Nigerian society, friendship, network and friendship is very key in order for you to survive in that society. Everybody wants to be associated with the big boys.
You have to
So
be connected.
maybe, yeah, so maybe if Chioma had acknowledged Laura as her friend, that would make her look like I am part of the creme de la creme. I mean, their wealth, if honestly, if legitly, because in Nigeria people will just say I'm rich, but you don't even know,
Yeah.
because it's not a society. People trace you by your taxes or whatever, you know. So if she just wants to be associated with that, and let's say, excuse me, you are just my customer, just take it as it is. Me, I don't see no offense in that. And she said one thing for me, and to all Laura fans, you all can support her for. She said something to Caroline, and that was when I was like, damn, your moral compass is nothing but zero here. When she said, you said you're a wife of a millionaire. How many designer bags do you have? I'm like, yes, excuse me. Everything was fundamentally wrong. It shows that she is of this mindset that my money can buy this. And I've seen that in a lot of Nigerians. And my money can do this. I have Gucci, I have Balenciaga. I'm like, hello, the Jeff Bezos of this world. I'm telling you, the people who own and run the stake of North America of this world. Even Virgin Atlantic was the guy who was Virgin, Richard Branson. This guy could walk around me here and you will not know because especially white people, you go see them na khaki pants, khaki trouser, na im they go wear with t-shirt. You no go know say them get money. People wey get money no dey buy go collect. You see, I'm sorry, I'm running to another state. But when she said that, I just lost it. I said, you know what, young lady, you don't need to be here.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you don't need to be here because you're
Okay.
not promoting the show. You don't feel like it. You don't have an alliance. Toying with your alliance is not really your alliance because I don't understand the friendship she has with Toyin. But
You know what, Jojo? Let's just pause
yeah,
on your thoughts for a bit. I'm
yeah.
still going to come back, please, if you can just give us more of your time. But let me quickly move on to free. There are other people here that needs to join. Let me
Let
just
me
quickly
let
move on
me
to
let
free.
me use the opportunity to just leave. I don't want to stay. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I just wanted to add a few things. I know I've taken a lot of people's time, but ladies, just look at Nigerians. The franchise is new to many of us. Just look at it as part of it. Women then go yeah, they go do with the next thing they will talk to each other. Anyway, peace out, guys. Have a lovely,
Thank you so much. Thank you
lovely
so much.
weekend. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
All
free.
right.
Free, are you there?
Hi, Glory. Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Free. You know what? Thank you so much for your patience. Please let's hear
I've been
from
waiting
you.
for over 1 hour.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for your patience, her darling. So the drama from Twitter this morning, I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw that, and then the drama that was explosive on episode 8 of the show. What do you think?
You know what? Funny thing is that I didn't go on Twitter. I didn't see the whole drama. It was when I came on YouTube, because I know you're having a live stream today. So I came on YouTube and I saw the thumbnail. You put something about Twitter. That was like, oh, so something happened on Twitter. And then I had to go on Twitter and start searching, but I wasn't seeing a lot of tweets. I think they already
Yeah, they
deleted
deleted
them.
some.
So I had to go
Yeah.
to your video. I had to start from the beginning. So thank God you inserted the screenshots from it and I read everything. And after reading, the only thing on my mind was like, finally, Toyin has finally said the problem she has with Caroline. Because from episode 1 to episode 8, I've just been wondering, like, why is Toyin always calling Caroline two-face, two-face, two-face? It didn't make sense to me. I was looking at Carolyn like this girl is a prom and premium babe. Like she doesn't want trouble. She's just always on her lane.
Yeah.
If you
Um,
don't go for her, she won't go for you. But Stu is always calling her two face. She always since then. So Tony had to cover it up. So the ladies yesterday they really disappointed me, except Caroline, because I know people will say yeah she was toxic and all, but sometimes you can't always let people win. You can't always let people pick on you without defending yourself.
free, you're
I'm
breaking.
all for ignoring.
Free, you're breaking. Your connection is actually not stable, so we can't hear a full
That
statement from you. Can you hear me,
and
Free?
um
Hello, Free. Okay, you know what? I'm going to remove you and add you back, please, okay? Because we can't hear like a complete sentence from you. So let me just,
yeah,
I'm adding you
that
right now again.
sounds bad.
Free, can you hear me?
Oh boy.
Hello,
Hello,
Free. Okay, you were actually breaking. We could not hear you clearly.
can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, this is better now. Please continue.
Oh yeah, so I was just like, yeah, she has already finally exposed what it is that she has been mad um about with Caroline. And then after watching the whole drama yesterday, and some people were still defending Laura, I didn't get it because if you remember, immediately Laura came into that room, what was the first thing she did? She removed her earrings. Then
Yeah.
she came with violence. She came to fight. She came prepared for a war. She didn't come to have a civil conversation. And then I don't know why people are acting like they see that part. She removed her earrings, ready to go down with her and do all sorts of things. And then she was the one that started telling Caroline that if you talk about my sister, I'm going to physically assault you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, who the hell are you? It hurts me so much that they were holding her. She should have gone to hurt her because she's always acting like a tout. I know that, yes, people will say, oh, she loves her sisters. She's defending them. I have 3 sisters. I'm very passionate about my sisters. They're my ride or die. I love them till death. But there are certain things that I won't do, all in the name of defending my family. You understand? And if you remember from the beginning of this show, Caroline has always been nice to Laura.
You won't even know that Laura and Linda, they have an issue with Caroline. Caroline always treated her with respect. When I even got to know that they had an issue, it was during Caroline's party that Caroline now brought it up. Oh, Linda did this, Linda did that. And I was like, wow. The fact that she didn't even put that at the forefront when she met Laura the first time, that goes to show the kind of maturity that Caroline has. Because she can as well decide to be petty and say, oh, this girl sister has been nasty to me. And then she'll be nasty to Laura. But she was always civil with Laura. She was always nice to her. But Laura was one always giving bad vibes. And I said it yesterday that there are a lot of things that Toyin has said about Caroline off camera that is making Laura look at Caroline funny. I know that, yes, she has that thing with her sister against Caroline, but Toyin has said a lot of things. And I'll tell you why. When she followed Laura yesterday outside, she made a statement that I don't even want them to record us. I heard her make that statement clearly. When they were following them, Laura was busting into things like, oh, I'm trying to talk to you. I don't even want them to record us. That goes to show that there is a lot of things that she has said about Caroline and Chioma, but Caroline especially, that Laura is using to judge them. She might have her own issue with Caroline about her sister, but a lot of things has been said from Toyin's point of view towards Caroline, and that is what Laura is using to base her friendship with Caroline. And I like what Iyabo said, that everybody will gather and you have an issue. Instead of you to talk about it, you won't. You wait till, okay, 24 hours later or some hours later, you now bring it up. The last time we were on this issue last week, one of your guests said, oh, everybody's different, everybody reacts differently. I was like, yes, I get it. And then she now also said, maybe, what was her name, Laura didn't want to start drama because she was in Mariam's house. And I said, no, you don't need to start drama. You can as well tell them there, the same way Iyabo communicated. You would have told them that, see, I don't like the fact that you guys are always late. Although she too, she's always late. Like Iyabo said, should have told them that I don't like the fact that you guys are always late. I have to take care of my kids. She can tell them without starting any drama. So what do you mean? Oh, she has to process it, blah, blah, blah. If she does not have any plans of fighting with them, she will say it there and then that I don't like the fact that you guys are always late. It's really annoying. But she didn't say anything. Everybody was like, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? She didn't say anything. And then she got home only to now send a message. And if anybody is two-faced, it is actually Toyin, because she has a lot to say during her confessionals. But when she's in front of those ladies, she's like jellyfish. She'll just be quiet. But when she's in her confessionals, oh, Caroline is this, oh, Caroline is that. Why don't you say it to her face? And that's why I respect Iyabo. Anything she's saying behind your back, she's telling you to your face. You're not going to beat her. And I like the way she pulled Chioma in a place yesterday. Chioma even having the guts to bring up that pep talk and say, oh, I don't like the fact you're giving me a pep talk. What do you expect? What are you, Queen Sheba? Everybody will sit down and be waiting for you 5 to 6 hours because of what? Am I jobless? It's true. And then she even had the audacity to bring it up like, oh, I don't like it. I already apologize. I don't like the way you're. I like the way Iyabo put her in her place straight. And then she acknowledging that she's always late, she's always going to be late, blah, blah, blah. That's a very, very dumb statement. You're no more arriving fashionably late. You're now arriving irritatingly late. I don't know the word to use. Like, it's no more fashionable. The first time, the second time she did it, I was like, oh, okay, this is fashionable. You know, she wants to make an entrance. But when you keep doing it, no, it's become irritating, because the people that are waiting for you, they have kids, they have businesses, they have things to do. And then everybody will just sit down there and be waiting for you as per Queen Sheba. And I didn't like the role she played yesterday. She was just being neutral. She's also two-faced, Chioma. I liked her from the beginning, but now she's beginning to show some traits that are very, very questionable. She has a lot to say in her confessional, saying, oh, well done, Caroline, clapping for her. But you're there, you're not saying anything. You're acting, oh, you're a classy baby, you don't want to involve yourself. You're just there looking. It just went to show that she's only loyal to herself. Chioma is a barrister lawyer. She's very, very calculative. She's very calculative, and she's the kind of person that will push you to the wall. And after pushing you to the wall, she is going to step back, and then she will watch you crash. She will watch you fall to your death, and then she'll just be looking like a mute spectator. That's the kind of person she is. And maybe I'm understanding why she and Caroline, they fell out, because according to the Twitter space that they had, Caroline said she blocked Chioma betrayed her, and all of that. I'm sure we'll have more insight on that moving forward. But after seeing that attitude that Chioma displayed yesterday, I believe Caroline totally that Chioma is capable of betraying anybody. She's only loyal to herself. She's that kind of friend. She's only loyal to her friend. She does not care. To herself, rather, she does not care. And it's very bad. And no, she not have followed Caroline and attack Laura. None of that. But I was expecting that she would just be on her friend's side, you know. Okay, yeah, she does not see her as a friend, but you and Laura also have issue. I'm not saying go and beat up Laura or also carry water and go and pour her. But at least be your friend's person at that point. Talk to her, you know. It was much later. She took her outside trying to talk to her. But in front of them, she won't say anything. So she and Toyin, they're the real two-faced people here. And this girl, Chioma, is living rent-free in Laura's head, while Caroline is living rent-free in Toyin's head. Toyin has already come out, to say the problem she has with them. Imagine them fighting over a married man. You're this, you're that, you're that. As in, it's so embarrassing. I was reading the tweet. I was like, oh my god, this is so chaotic. Over a married man. You're fighting over a married man, a man. Like, I don't even understand how these people put themselves into these situations. And then they come on social media, they act all prim and proper. Oh, they are this, they are that, they are this, they are that. And then, what's her name? Toyin having the guts to say Caroline ruined her home. I read it where she said it there, one of the tweets, that Caroline ruined her home. Is she forgetting that she also ruined another woman's home when she married that her masked husband? That one that does not ever remove his marks, as if he's a Bambiala. She also ruined somebody else's home because the man was married, according to what we heard. They said he was married with children. And then all of a sudden, the man was working with her. All of a sudden, they got married. So why is nobody talking about that? Or is it because the guy's wife has not come out to say anything? And it's just like you're staying in a glass house and you're throwing stones. It can come back to you. You're also judging Caroline that she's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. And it was really unnecessary. I don't know why she came up today and she just started everything. Maybe she got a push from somebody like, okay. Before I was feeling like all these their outbursts on Twitter. Honestly, I thought it was just for promotion and they were just staging it. But right now, I don't think it's staged anymore. I think it is very real. That's what I believe. I told you last week that I feel most of these things is not genuine. They're just doing it to sell the show. But the kind of things that they're revealing about themselves, it's too nasty for them to be revealing it just because they want to sell the show. So basically, my own take is that Chioma is a pretender. Toyin too is also not a pretender, but two-faced, both of them. They have everything to say behind your back, but when they're in front of you, they're speaking English, they're looking, they don't want to say anything. Mariam, that one, she went to insert herself in what does not concern her. Turn to referee. Turn to referee. They left. I was just laughing. She was the only person that brought a little humor in all those things going on yesterday. Like the way she was on the floor and the way she dived them, Laura, when Laura wanted to. And I was like, what is this? I mean, you see the way she dived Laura, like when you're watching a wrestling match, she just dived in. I was like, what's this? Don't go and enjoy yourself because of this weary Laura. And then the other lady, Iyabo is really matured, but I feel like Iyabo called for that meeting way too early because tempers were still up. Like everybody was still, I think it was the next day, like after what happened in Laura's house. I'm not sure, but I think it was the next day they had that meeting. So I believe that it was too early. And then Laura, the kind of thing that she says, it goes to show you the kind of friends that Laura has. For one, Laura telling Toyin that, oh, I expect you to defend me. That's what friends do. No, honey, that's not what friends do. Yes, I'm going to defend you, but not when you are wrong. And she was crying to Toyin, trying to emotionally blackmail her, telling her, oh, you're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to. Laura, she lives in her own world. She lives in her own bubble. Imagine you being rude to me. You're rude to me today in public, and you don't apologize to me in public. You apologize to me privately by calling me or sending me a message, whatever. And then when we go out, you're not apologizing for embarrassing me publicly, but then you expect me to take your side after I tried to help you the previous day and you told me I was doing too much. At that point, I was like, is this girl delusional? Like, she really expects Toyin to take her side just because they're friends, forgetting what she did to her the previous day. And then she was saying, oh, she's loyal to a force, she's this, she's that, she's that. Nobody's saying don't be loyal. But I think some people they're misinterpreting the word loyalty. They're misinterpreting that word. And all this while, Laura has been giving this energy of she's just forcing herself to be friends with Toyin. To me, it feels like the friendship is just one-sided. It's somehow forced. Toyin is trying to just be her friend, do everything. The most irritating thing that I can do is try to pacify a friend. I don't like crybabies. Me and you will go out. We are in a social gathering, and all I'm trying to do is babysit you. Are you okay? Are you fine? I'm always checking up on you. You might as well stay in your house. And that was why I said that I don't know why Laura came on this show. If it was other franchise, other Real Housewife franchise, just like the other speaker said, trust me, Laura will not dare to not promote that show because she signed a contract. They don't give a fuck if she's quarreling with everybody in that cast. You are going to promote the show because they paid you. That's part of the contract. You can be in your feelings for all you want, but they don't care. It's business to them. And then she's not promoting it. She's not doing anything. You know, the irritating thing about Laura is when she's in her confessional talking and she's laughing. That her laugh is always very, very irritating. She's saying bullshit, but she's laughing at the same time. Saying like Toyin, having a friend like Toyin, you don't need an enemy. It goes to show the kind of people she has around her. The friends that Laura have are people that they worship her. Like they treat her like Queen Bee. Anything she does is right. Whether she's wrong, whether she's right, they tell her she's right. So that's why she has that mentality of, oh, as my friend, you're supposed to defend me, da 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 da. And I think she needs to wake the fuck up. She really needs to wake up. And she's saying she has 3 million followers. Trust me, Glory, those followers are bots. Because Laura does not have engagement in her page. If you see somebody that have organic 3 million followers, you will know from the comments, from the likes, you can tell. But she'll post a picture or a video and she has 20-something comments, 16 comments, over 10 comments, and you have 3 million followers. It's bots. If you ask me, the followers are bots, and that's not my problem. I'm not looking at it too much, but she's bringing that as a forefront and saying, oh, you don't have designer bags. It was just too petty because everybody has heard the gist that she's the one feeding her husband. So why are you mocking somebody that they don't have designer bags when you're the one feeding your husband? It's just the last thing that you're carrying on your head. It's just so annoying. That's all I have to say.
I'll just plead that you just pause for a bit, okay? I noticed that there's some people that are on here, but they've been waiting for a while. So let me just give the floor to Olanike and see if you still have to just stick around. All right. There's still the question of what does realness and fakeness mean to you in the context of the show. All right. So please, guys, just hold on because I really need to hear from you. But before I come round again, which I'll start with Nutrition, let me just go on to Olanike. She's been waiting here for a bit. So, guys, please exercise patience with me. Olanike, can you hear us?
Hello, good
Hi.
afternoon.
You're
Hi.
welcome back. Olanike,
Yes.
let me just give you some special appreciation for what you did during the week. Olanike was the one that actually sent me the content of Caroline's conversation. If not for her, I wouldn't have seen that conversation anywhere because it was private. So thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
kind
You're welcome.
wisdom.
Yes, you're
All
welcome.
right. So I know
So,
that you are here.
yes.
You know, you have a lot to say. Twitter wars
Yes.
and the
Oh
drama
my
with it.
gosh. Oh my gosh. It's been interesting. So the thing is, I watched the episode was quite chaotic yesterday, and it was
Mhm.
expected. We all expected it. And I just want everybody to also remember, like, watch it. Like, oh my god, like yesterday I was on Bimbo Craig's live. Bimbo Craig, she's one of the co-executive producer for the show, and she had a lot to, she said a lot. She said she needed to talk during that live yesterday, and she said she didn't pick sides, right? But she said a lot, and if you were there you would deduce a lot from what was going on, the background information on how the show was put together, literally. And she said something, I don't know, like basically she made me realize that there's more to this Laura's behavior that people don't understand. You think she's just crazy. She kept using the word. So you think she's just mad, delusional, like she's just reacting for nothing. That's what she kept saying. She kept saying that, do
Okay.
we think she's just a mad person? She's just reacting for nothing.
Well, it's their
Like
fault.
that was
This is
the
what they are showing to us. They are showing us Laura's chaotic confessional and Laura's chaotic behavior. So it's the fault
yes.
of the producer.
Yes, I know. So she's like, basically, like, there's a whole lot of things that are happening, and some people are also very good at masking behavior. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Nike, please come back. Oh my God. What just happened? Nika, please, if you can come back, please. Like Nika was just dropping some very, very hot tea. Please come back. You are needed on this space right now. Okay, before Nika comes back, Patricia, listen, thank you so much for being so patient. Let me quickly ask you that question now. What does realness mean to you and fakeness in the context of the show? Oh, hold on, you're muted. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
realness to me, I will just say it in a few words and maybe go to the show specifically to the ladies. Realness is the actual occurrence or existence of the fact without
Okay.
being imagined or planned.
Okay.
Okay, going to the show, before I go to Katie, going to the show, on the show, I would say what we saw yesterday, it was realness. And what Caroline, according to me, what Caroline is giving us, it's also realness from me, from my view. And what Laura is giving us, Laura, to me, she is both. She starts things, I think, with a mindset that I am going to trend, let me put it that way, or I am going to get momentum or whatever. And when it doesn't happen that way, that's where she becomes real. She reacts realistically. When she sent that message, maybe she had an expectation of that they will not say this or they will be apologetic or whatever. But then they turned around and came the other way that she did not expect. Then she became real, which is exactly what she said. When she said, I'm going to be physical with you, I want to be honest and say, I don't think she expected, more especially Caroline, that she will attack or she will say, give it to me, bring it on. You see? So it came by surprise and it triggered her because then things don't turn out the way she wants them to be. And when the ladies arrived at the supper, at the dinner, when they were late, both when the two Chioma and Caroline were late,
Yeah.
I think they also tempered with whatever that she was planning or whatever. That's why she became so offline. That's one thing about Laura. Laura, she plans things, and anything that she does is informed. Because you must listen to her when she said, when she spoke about the outfits and all those things. It's things that she thought after the dinner and all that. And now she comes to them when they were sitting in that meeting and then they presented the issue of the lateness and all that. Now she then said, that means you all knew, you came all dressed up. You can tell that because of maybe her fans and whatever, some are telling her that, these people, it's other people's point of view. She puts them together and owns them and brings and dishes them out to the people. So I felt that somewhere she acts according to what maybe other people are telling her. That's what I see. And then fake, I won't say Chioma is fake because maybe it's a decision that he wants to be like that. But then she qualifies to be fake because she is too much in control of her feelings. We are not saying it's wrong. It is correct to be in control of your feelings because then you want to be sure, I want to assess things. You don't want to go wrong. She is too careful and she is camera ready. Once you are camera ready, then we start to have a problem. She is camera ready, Chioma. Chioma is, make no mistake, that one, I can stand in the highest court and say she is always camera ready. She is always mindful of the camera. Then she applies her thoughts and her emotions in that way. That's why she is able to capture herself. Then, because the way she was sitting and not doing anything, it was really questionable. Knowing where she comes from with Laura and together with Caroline and all that, it's very much questionable. So I think she somehow qualifies to be that. I don't think it's because of her profession. Yes, the profession will turn it in a way that you know that in everything that I do, I will be held accountable for it. That one, yes, it is a point. But you are still a human being. You're still a person. Lawyers who commit crimes, lawyers who insult people out of emotions, you understand? Because at that moment, realness kicks in. So I think for me, that is, and Iyabo, when you talk of realness as well, Iyabo calls a spade a spade. Mariam as well, I would take her as the same category as Iyabo. The blue is blue to them. They call a spade a spade. Red is red. It ends there. So, and whether you like it or not, it's your problem. But then they will say it to you. Like it or not, believe it or not, this is it. This is what I say, or this is how I feel about this period. So that is, but Caroline as well. Caroline, Iyabo, and Mariam, for me, they are real. And Toyin is complicated. It's also complicated, just like actually Laura is two things for me. But Toyin is complicated. You must expect anything. from Toyi. Anything, anytime. So fake to me, I think Chioma can get an Oscar for it, because by virtue of being camera ready and being careful of anything that you say, and then when they make comments that side, that's where she will start saying other things that you are not like her comment about Caroline. I wasn't expecting that comment from her because of her behavior during the incident. You understand? But for her to say, "Oh, finally, Caroline, what," and I thought, but girl, but you were there, but your behavior, it is not proportional. Let me just say, her behavior is not proportional to the actual events that are happening on the scene. She's too much in control. That is according to me.
Thank you so much, Latricia. Thank you so much. The way you explained it, I love the term you used, camera ready. And I actually agree with you on that. You see, like, Choma is so comforted, and there's a way, one positions themselves to talk, right? They calculate their every word. Everything has to come out perfect. I actually do see that as well. Thank you so much. So good news, we have Olanike back. I am so interested in that gist that Olanike brought from one of the
Yes.
producers live. Olanike, please,
So
we
basically,
we cast and bind every connection failure. You must be connected
no,
to us to feel all the things. Please continue.
telling you. So basically, she started the live by talking about loyalty. She wasn't in. She just wanted. She said, like, how loyal can you be for your friend or with your friend? How like basically like some friends would just gaslight you. Like the way Laura was expecting that much loyalty from Toyin. She questioned that, like, are people like that? And she, based from her perception of Laura, she's someone that would really do, that actually would go all out for the people that are in her circle. Like,
Yeah.
that's her person, and she expects the same thing from people around her. But according to like she was just asking the question, she threw it out in the open, like, are you like that? Are you that kind of person that would not question your friend? You just go and inherit someone else's, trouble on your head and all that and all that. And then the way she described Chioma as someone, like, people were like, Chioma, the fight yesterday. And then she was like, Chioma is someone that will never stay. She doesn't like to stain her white. That's how she described Chioma. Meaning that behind the scenes, so she can do stuff, but in front of the camera, you cannot catch me doing the wrong thing. And she put a question across to everybody. She said, if it was Chioma that was the one acting like Laura, right? If it was Chioma that was acting like Laura in the show, are we all going to have the same reaction?
But that's sadly it's not. It's what the show was that we are seeing, that we accepted.
Like Chioma, imagine if it was Chioma that was behaving like Laura. Are we going to have the same reaction? Then the second question she threw up, apart from, so loyalty was the first thing she laid out. And then second thing she said, classism. Basically, I think the perception among the producer is already, they have an impression like.
Hello, Nika. Oh my God, Nika. We don't want to lose you again. Please come back. Nika.
Not that they're.
Nika, we lost you. Can you start from that point of classism? Can you start from the point of classism? We lost you for a bit.
Okay, the class is like, basically she talked about class in our society, where you see somebody, you feel like this person belongs there, and you all want to be in that kind of category with that person. So she feels like most of them already feel like not intimidated. They feel like they have to be in like Chioma's circle. So there's already that perception amongst the housewives, like Chioma is way up there, they want to belong, that thing. So because she said that question, like, okay, Laura is behaving a certain way, but why is it that they are not able, like, okay, bad behavior, they are not able to hold Chioma accountable from the beginning for the lateness, for her tardiness from beginning? It's not now that she has been late, she's been late from all the events they've been doing so far, but they never held her accountable. Iyabo Ojo never held her accountable for her being late, for her being, you just did that now.
Yeah.
So it's basically they feel like like you're not treating.
Hello. Hello. Nika, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please continue.
So she talked about classism, basically. She's talked about loyalty, and she described Carol as she's not as nice, or sorry, she's not as quiet as we think she is.
Okay.
That's what she described Carol. Like she's not, because someone called her like, oh, she's quiet. Like, you think she's quiet, Carol? Quiet? No, she's not.
Okay.
But she did not tell us who her favorite. Well, she didn't give any of that information out. But basically, from when you watch the live, you deduce the inner things that are happening, the inner workings of the show, basically, from it.
So I have a question. And this question is coming based off of me because I actually joined on the live. Thanks for actually sending me the link. But there was a part of the conversation that was kind of dragging, and I was busy at that point, so I left. So the question is, why did one of the producers choose to come and give this explanation whilst the show is still on?
Okay, so I'm going to say this. Andy Cohen, right? Like if you watch Real Housewives, all the other franchises, the executive producer is called Andy Cohen. He has a show.
Yes, I know. Hello, Nika, can you hear
called
me?
Watch the Week, and he brings.
Nika, you're breaking. Like we hear you one time and
he
then
brings in Housewives to talk about the show.
Okay.
He brings in Housewives to talk about the show. So every week they're always talking about, okay, is it Atlanta? He brings in Atlanta Housewife. They discuss the show. So basically, it's just a review without giving in any much about like his own opinion. It's just ask. Basically, that's what she was doing yesterday. She wasn't giving. She was just like giving us hints. Like, you think so? Basically, and then that was it. She didn't give us her own personal opinion. She was just talking like a viewer, like based on what she was watching, what she has watched so far. But she didn't talk about
like the conversation that I joined. I heard her talking about loyalty, and I didn't really pay attention, But speaking of loyalty now, Laura rather being a loyal friend, wanting to have your friends back, wanting your friend to have their back. I think it's a conversation that we really need to have, and people need to wash their minds from that sort of perception, because from watching the show so far, from episode 1, remember now we're talking about what is happening on the show, not what we don't know about these people offset. Now, I feel like, again, this is not an attack on Laura, just talking about the concept of loyalty. I feel like Laura really wants that friend that would still stand by her even when she's wrong, even when she's embarrassing the friend in public. And a lot of people still feel like that is right. But I think that is actually toxic. If you want loyalty from your friend, I think respect, regard should also come, in such a demand. Loyalty is a very, very valuable thing that not just anybody can give to anybody, all in the name of friendship, right? If you want somebody to be loyal to you, you have to respect that person. And you also have to give that person that regard that they deserve, not just in private, but in public. You want my loyalty as your friend? You don't insult me in public, disgrace me, be rude to me, be uncouth to me, and then in private, you come and apologize. No, you don't do that. I'm referring now to what happened between Laura and Toyin, right? But still, you want loyalty. I think it's a huge price you want at no cost. And I feel like that's being selfish if you're looking for that kind of loyalty and you're not respecting the person that you are demanding that kind of loyalty from. Who will give you? You know? Nikki, are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. The thing
Yes.
is, to be honest, with that fight yesterday, I understand Laura's part. Like, yes, she started it in terms of like she shouldn't have all the I will beat you, I will this, all that threat was so unnecessary. Like it was not necessary. However, I understand her point in terms of like Toyin not having her back. Like personally, like my friends are bashing me or these people, she was outnumbered. And personally, in my opinion, Iyabo Ojo did not handle that situation well because it was so obvious, like you already have discussed this matter and you're bringing it to the table to discuss here again. Like it's like she was outnumbered already. She was outnumbered already, and it's, let's not lie, your defense would be up. We are human beings. And Toyin, to me, I felt at that time, yes, you can be objective, but don't push it too much like that in front of these people at that time. You could go out and like kill me or do whatever it is you want to do, like in private, but not like that. At that moment, understanding the hostility in our environment at that time, we are humans.
But
Like
you know,
Bimbo even
that's
said it
the thing.
yesterday. Bimbo even said it yesterday. Like we are human beings. You put yourself in her shoes. You were the one in that situation that yesterday. Like
Okay. So
my
I think this
friends,
now
everybody in that room literally hates me. And then one
okay.
person that's supposed to be my friend also decided to choose that moment to air her grievance against me in front of these same people. Let's
So,
be
Nick,
honest.
I think it still boils down to what we're talking about, loyalty. Cast your mind
Yes.
back to the dinner. And this is not me being against Laura, okay? I'm still just saying what I see and how I would have also reacted. I probably would not have reacted like Toyin, attacking. I probably would have just been quiet or maybe walked away from there. So look at it this way. Laura actually embarrassed Toyin. Now, both women, they have their own. Toyin is actually the cause, if you ask me, of Laura's attitude towards Caroline. That one is what we saw from one. Now, at the dinner, obviously, Toyin instigated that feeling of, oh, they don't. Hey, who is that? Oh,
Sorry.
okay. So look at it this way. At the dinner, as we saw in episode 7, Toyin was the one that first started getting restless. Oh, they don't rate us. Why would they be coming late? We are waiting. Knowing fully well that Laura will catch that fire. And Laura caught that fire, right? Laura, it was like a transfer of aggression. So she that started cooking up the aggression at the dinner table, she now pacified herself automatically. So when the ladies came at that point in time, Laura was already irritated because it's like that thing of loyalty ringing in Laura's head. Oh, my friend is upset. Automatically, she caught the vibe. So she was probably expecting that sort of allegiance between herself and Tony. That, okay, when these ladies come, we'll give them a piece of our mind. But when they came, Tony was not giving the same kind of energy. So it was obvious that Laura was already irritated, as the same way she was irritated in episode 1. So when Toyin was trying to now display that loyalty once again, by trying to cheer Laura up when Laura was saying that she's bored, blah blah blah, Laura was disrespectful, telling Toyin, you're doing too much. And remember, the show is edited. We don't know what other things she actually said to Toyin at that point in time. It was embarrassing. It's like this person that's trying to be on your side, whilst the other conversations are happening, you're embarrassing the person, you're disrespecting the person, So Tony felt disrespected, and that was really rude from Laura. And it's not the first time. Laura can come across as rude with the way she talks sometimes. So at the meeting yesterday in episode 8, imagine you being disrespectful at someone like that. When you now come to that same public setting, maybe you apologize first. I mean, Laura already knew she was coming, spoiling for a fight. She knew she wanted to come and deal with Caroline. And you need an alliance, right? So why don't you make public peace first with that person you want to be your ally, but you're making it look like, oh, but we are cool. You don't do things like that. You want loyalty, you need to give as a God. Like, what's that English? You need to reciprocate with respect. You need
Sorry.
to reciprocate with politeness. But she did not do any of that. So listen, I feel like yes, quite all right. Toyin too was also attacking Laura at that point in time. Oh, I'm your friend. Why did you do this and that? I felt like she was only dishing it back to Laura the same way that Laura actually dished it out to her at the dinner. And to be very honest, I didn't even feel sorry for both of them at all because both of them, they've been working in sync on this whole madness that they've been displaying, you know. So for me, I'm thinking both of them, they should learn something from the experience, that if we have to stick together, we have to respect each other. We should not be rude to each other. Since both of us wants to be that combo of friends that fight our battles together, that attack our enemies together, then we need to be respectful to each other if they want to be in that kind of friendship. You cannot want to be toxic to your enemies and then you are toxic to each other. You first kill each other before you even go out there to fight your enemies. That's what I think.
Mhm.
Nikki, are
But
you
in
there?
all of this, though, I feel none of them are innocent. None of them.
Of course, none of them. Of course,
They're
none of
all not like this old drama that especially happened this morning with Toyin and Carol. It's been brewing for a while. Like she said, like the producer said yesterday, that just Google all of them. Like it was as if it was strategic. Let me pick this one. Let me pick these people. Let me, like all their info. Like she just said, just go to Google and you realize. Like she kept. Thank God that this happened this morning because she actually mentioned it. Like people don't even know what's up. Like what's about to come. The storm that is about to come soon. Like she said a lot of things, she revealed a lot of things and basically made us kind of have a better understanding of each of the casts in the show. And there's like with Laura, the beef is not today. They all, like someone said one time, she was outnumbered in this show from the onset, from the get-go. From that dinner, that first date they all had together, she had been outnumbered. Like they all like had beef with Laura except for Toyin. They all had beef with Laura, and someone was like, probably should at that moment, that day that she came for that particular lunch, she should have realized that maybe in her head should have felt like, oh, what did I sign into? Why did I sign in? These are the castmates that I have. Like, oh my God, because they all had, apart from Toyin, they all had personal beef prior to the show. They all had
I'm sorry,
issues.
I beg to differ, Shao. I mean, this is just my opinion. I don't think
Mhm.
Laura was actually outnumbered. As a matter of fact, from all what I have been seeing of these ladies on social media before the show started, I think the person that has actually, or the people that's probably been outnumbered is actually Caroline and Chioma. I'm sorry, but that's what, from following them on social media. I think there's a friendship between Iyabo and Tiannah. That's Toyin before now. What's her name? Laura and Tiannah before now. Mariam, to be very honest, I have never heard of Mariam in my life. It was from this show that I started hearing of her, and I even bothered to like, who is this? She has money. She's a socialite. How come I've never come across her any of her social media handles at all. It was from this show. So I can't say if she has any scandal to her name or anything. But you see, Caroline, Laura, Iyabo, and Toyin, before this show, these people are constantly constantly in one form of drama or the other. The person that had the latest drama before the show started was Toyin. The story about, the
Her
person she
marriage.
got married, yeah, the
Mhm.
person she got married to recently was actually still legit married to a girl, a lady with is it one child or two kids, and they said the guy was working for her as a photographer, and something happened along the line. The guy did not go back to his village again, to his state, to his family anymore. And the wife took to Facebook to go and put out a statement. And Toyin was already pregnant, and they were having weddings, and people were seriously dragging her. And that was why on the show, when she was constantly creating a castle on Caroline's marital status. I was seriously holding my mouth from screaming out loud that why the hell are you so bothered about Caroline's marriage? Because you just had your own dirty scandal, about marrying someone's husband. And this is not the first time a scandal is brewing up on social media about you being with someone's husband, So each and every one of those
Because that's the thing you need to understand. See, yeah, feed what you're saying right now is based off on information you already feel you know. That's
no,
your
not I
like
feel
you're
I
reacting based
understand.
on what you know right now. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
not what I
And
feel I know, but what was the actual scandal on. I remember she also gave her responses as well. So it wasn't like people were dragging her quiet. It was like a
yes.
back-to-back goes. And this is the thing about me. If you notice on my channel, I rarely talk about all those their drags because I always
Mm,
tell you don't know. So what I don't know, I don't know. So
mm,
what I'm talking about, all the scandal, it's what's been happening on social media. So she was dragged, and trust me, those ladies, you see the likes of Iyabo and Laura and Toyin, they are not the people that you drag and they are quiet. As you are dragging, they
mm,
are responding. It's of recent today that I noticed that Caroline too, they are dragging her and she's responding. But you see those other three, you cannot drag them and go scot free. You drag them, they will drag you back. You bring receipts, they'll bring receipt back. So it's always a reciprocating of energy for those ladies. So why did I bring up this one? Talking about Laura being ganged up on or outnumbered? No way. No way. I do not agree on that. Latricia, you wanted to say something. I've been seeing your hand up. Please go ahead. Hello, Latricia. Hold on. Let me unmute you.
I'm okay now.
Okay.
Yeah. I was saying thank you, Ola, for coming, for giving us the juicy stories and everything. But I want to differ with Ola on this issue of Laura being outnumbered even from day one. I want to say Laura, even if maybe she was outnumbered, these people were best friends or whatever, but Laura also created a monster for herself. And now the monster has grown. Now she cannot deal with it. She has been creating unnecessary fights, small fights, things that can be avoided. And now it has gone to a point where, because everything that happens to Laura, it's what she created. Now the monster has grown, and then we want to say she was outnumbered. She outnumbered herself from the onset. Let me only talk about the show and not talk about their lives outside Real Housewives. So from what we view her on the show, I only knew her from the show. Carolyn, I see her; she's an actor and all that, but I don't know their lives anyway. Maybe because of the differences of the country. But I want to say, in this situation of the reality show, Laura created a monster for herself. She was not outnumbered, and by virtue of the ladies calling a meeting, I want to respect Iyabo. Iyabo, by calling that meeting, it was not meant to attack Laura. It is because the matter of the lateness of Chioma, more especially Chioma, it was addressed at dinner, and it was point blank. It was put on her face that more especially you, Chioma, and today you made it worse. It was clear. She made it clear, and then it was addressed on the table. It was over. Then she goes to the WhatsApp group, and then she sends that malicious message. According to me, it's malicious. She sends that message, meaning she is opening it up. Then she's not satisfied. Then other things start popping out. I think it was necessary for the meeting to be called, and yes, for the meeting to continue or to be fruitful. They had to start on that issue because that was the reason why they called the ladies there, not to justify the lateness of the two ladies or on previous occasions of Chioma. And it was made clear that Laura, you are always also late. But now when you come first, then it must be a big issue. She forgets about those things. That's why I'm saying she ends up being outnumbered, and it may seem as if she was being attacked or they ganged up against her. But then she creates situations for herself, and she likes to drag issues that are irrelevant to whatever that they are discussing sometimes, dragging her sister into the issues and all those things, but forgetting that there will be a reaction. And when there is a reaction, she wants to act being a victim. What happened to Laura yesterday, she deserves it. well, if it was prepared, I was going to say it was well prepared.
Sorry, I
She
want to say
deserves it.
something.
And
One
she
thing, funny enough,
asked for it.
sorry, I want to chip in something. So basically, like I want to go back to the message. Do you know that the producer said to them, they don't see what what was a big. They didn't see the message as such a big deal. The
Okay.
producers.
When they are
They
looking
said,
at making money,
and
how would they
the
see it
funny
as
thing
a
is,
big
like, they were like, please, what did she say? That's what the comment she said. What did she write
I'm sorry, but
that
if the
led to
producers
all
are coming
this?
from that angle, I beg to differ. If the producers are coming from that angle, then I don't know. There's this word they call it in English. It's like gaslighting the viewers. It's like you are
So the
putting
thing
out.
is, she's
No,
kept
sorry,
mentioning something
hold
about
on, Nike,
Nigerians
hold on,
and
Nike,
Africans. Okay.
hold on, Nike. If the producers are coming from that angle, that they do not see anything wrong in that, then I feel like they are gaslighting the audience and they're kind of playing on our intelligence. We've
No,
accepted
it's
that
not
they
even
are
the emotions.
we're accepting that they are producing the show. We've accepted that they edit the show according to how they want us to view each of these characters. They edit the show, right? Because they want to give us something to talk about. They want us to be emotionally invested in the show. So they know fully well from all what they've shown us from episode 1 that Laura has been provocative. Laura has been very, very triggering. She makes statements, her body language, her facial expression, everything that's doing from time
But
to time.
according to the
No,
producer,
stop. Let me
something
finish.
ignites it
Everything she has
though.
been doing
She's
from
not
time to
like,
time.
that's what she's saying.
Nick, hold on. Both of us cannot be
Okay.
speaking at the same time. We won't hear each other.
Sorry, let
Okay.
me mute myself.
Sorry, let me just make my point. So they from what they've been showing us, and I still use the statement from what they've been showing us, because we do not see all the clips that they film on set. So at the end of the day, they might spend the whole day shooting a particular episode, and what we get to see is the 55 minutes that we see on Showmax. So I will still use that line. From what they show us, they've already created the narrative that Laura is restless. She's provocative, she's triggering, her body language, her facial expression, that is what they give to us. Now, still based on what they've shown to us, right? They know that there's already animosity between these two women. And so, 24 hours passed after a case has clearly been sorted out at the dinner table. They even had karaoke and they were happy. They were dancing. And from what they also showed us, Laura, that was the most bored and restless at the dinner table, at that rooftop karaoke bar, she was the most excited, dancing, happy. So what I interpreted that to mean is that all is well and good. And then lo and behold, 24 hours later, we're seeing that message from Laura. So what the hell does that mean? What do they want us? And now I'm posing this question now to the producers. What do they want us to deduce from that message? I feel like they're telling us that, oh, this lady that we thought had gotten over all of that upset at Chioma and Caroline's lateness, she hasn't really gotten over it. And so she's coming again to resurrect a dead conversation. And that was what she did from that message. So if the producers are coming to say, oh, they don't see anything wrong with that message, I'm sorry, it's like they're trying to play on our intelligence. They're making it look like we don't have sense. Oh, we are just consuming what they're putting out there and we don't know what we're talking about. So they're playing with our emotions then.
And
So the question
I
is,
want to ask, oh, continue,
Okay.
Ola.
okay, so okay, you know what? I don't want to go back and forth because someone had to read that message again. So I don't want to dwell on that. Okay, accepted. Most of you do know. And then, but the main thing she was kept saying, Nigerians, emotions, we are very emotional people. Like sometimes, like I said last week, when I watch the show, I watch like personally every week. I have different favorites every week. So like most of the time when I watch the show, I kind of watch the show with the eye like of a producer, kind of like I'm seeing. That's why I told you last week that after episode 2 I stopped liking Chioma. Like Chioma seems to be my favorite from episode 2 because I just saw through her. I don't know, there was just something about her that I just noticed. So basically, like emotion, some of us we watch, we are like the reaction they want is what we are all doing right now, like arguing back and forth. Laura this, Laura that, Chioma this. Carol this, Carol that. So they are literally playing on our emotions right now. Like we are all invested, and you all have people you are going to support and all that. So
Exactly.
that's a
I mean, now we're on the
yeah,
same page, Ike. They are gaslighting
yeah.
us. I don't see anything wrong with Laura's message. Come on. There's everything wrong with the message. It was provocative.
That's to,
It
that's to
was.
some people though. To some people, it's not. That's the thing. We all have
Okay.
different views. You get some people don't see anything because some people actually read the message. And you know one thing about I've learned about communication. I don't personally I don't like sending messages because I feel like sometimes when I send messages, it might not be relayed the way I expect it to go. The person might not read it the way I felt it to, I expressed myself. So most of the time I prefer verbal communication because not everybody receives things the same way.
Yeah.
So
Let me allow
that's
Letitia,
it.
then I will say what I want to say. Letitia, please continue.
Yes. In short, Glory, I want to agree with Ola when she says she insists on saying the message. Maybe it was meant well, and somebody takes it this way, and that's why it's better to communicate verbally. I'm saying if that was the case, I repeat what I said previously. Laura was supposed to correct it immediately to say, "Oh, okay, sorry, lady. I'm sorry about that. I meant well. I didn't think that is how you interpret it. I was misinterpreted. I am sorry about that. This is what I was trying to say. Maybe with a voice note or whatever, whichever way. She was going to respond immediately. So that is where I differ with her. And the producers now, they make me feel as if they are now responding in favor of Laura, but
Exactly.
actually responding to Caroline's voice notes or whatever, the things that I saw them on your
Yeah.
on
Interview she had,
about
yeah.
her not being paid and her this and her
Yeah.
that's what I'm feeling. I'm catching that feeling and I'm like, Caroline girl, I wish you were my client. Honestly, it looks like they are now responding to her.
Yeah.
But then in a very nice way, because all of a sudden they are the ones who see the things that Laura is doing, and all of a sudden they are saying Laura this, Laura that. Is questionable. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Anyway,
I agree
I'm
with
going to
you.
leave. I'm going to leave.
Oh, thank you so much, Latricia. Thanks for your time. If you can still
Okay.
join us, we have a couple of more minutes, okay? But thank you so much,
I'm
Latricia, for
going to watch
pointing that
while
out.
I'm off.
And this is where I have a problem, right? I still don't understand why the producers decided to come and give all these explanations right after Laura and Caroline
To
had their
to
fight.
clarify, she wasn't really giving her own view. She was
Olani,
just like when
Olani,
when
okay, finish what you want to say. Let me
when
go.
people call in, when people like go into her live and then they express, so she just gives hints here and there, not like she was, you know, taking any side. She didn't, she was just giving us like background information on situations. That's what she
Okay.
was doing.
Okay, so let me
Yes.
let me put it to you, Nike, right? And this is not me
Yeah.
bragging or anything, okay?
Okay.
So I am a graduate of English, right? And when you
Okay.
study English, or maybe people that even studied psychology and law,
Yeah. Yeah.
you learn a bit of semantics. Now there are
Okay.
certain even when you study communication too, I don't know, maybe all the courses in school somehow. There's a psychology of communication, right? I'm not going to outrightly tell you to support Laura or Caroline, but there are certain things I can say that will lead your thoughts towards being in favor of any of those casts. If you are not thinking, and it doesn't mean that you don't have a mind of your own, you do have a mind of your own. And there's also a possibility that your mind is all made up, all right? But there are certain things I would either show you or tell you, not directly now, but subliminally. I'll pass it on to you subliminally. Even in marketing, they call it subliminal marketing. They never tell you anything, but it's stuck in your mind that okay, you need to use this product to support this thing. For me, I feel like that communication yesterday from the producers, it was not necessary at all until after the show, possibly maybe during the reunion or after they've exhausted the remaining episode. Them doing that yesterday, I felt like they were coming out to come and make a case. Because of course, you can't tell me that they are not seeing the reaction of the viewers. And most of the time, if you scout social media, most of the reaction of the viewers, people are, it's like, this is the Nigerian society. We're used to seeing this kind of thing on BB Niger, where people just unnecessarily overact and overreact just to get a huge following and they succeed. And then we see this happening in the Real Housewives. It's not like the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives franchise is new to Nigerians. No, we are not that backward. Okay, there are a lot of us that are exposed to the Real Housewives franchise. Okay, so I'm telling you that even if that's producer representative did not say that she's outrightly supporting Laura, the fact that she's saying, oh, you people don't understand, you think Laura is just acting the way she's acting, that is subliminal conviction or convincing that all people should not be too upset with Laura. Laura has a reason. So if Laura has a reason, why are they not adding it in their edits? In the entire 55 minutes that they dedicate to one episode of each of the episodes, why don't they at least push in, just squeeze in a reasonable reason beyond all reasonable doubt why Laura, is doing the things she's doing? And once again, I'll put this disclaimer out there. This is not me attacking Laura, all right? We've established a lot of facts. The show is produced. The show is edited. The show is edited in a way that they need to draw traffic. The show is edited in a way that the producers need the viewers to be emotionally invested enough to have conversations like what we're having. I mean, this is almost 3 hours and we're still sweating. Look at me, I'm sweating. We're talking about the show, right? It means they're doing a fantastic job and we love it. But what we do not appreciate is them coming out to try to help us to think. Don't help us to think. This is what you all wanted, right? So allow us, let us watch it. Let us, deduce whatever we want to deduce from the show. Then maybe during the reunion, all the clips that you've not been showing us, so that is if you don't want to show it in the one season, all the clips you want to show us about why Laura is doing what she's doing, please indulge us, put it there. Then maybe some of us, our perceptions will change about each and every one of the cast. I'll say this again. I'm not attacking Laura. I'm talking based on what we are shown. Laura possibly has a major reason. And to the best of my knowledge, I have not really seen that major reason yet why she just dislikes Caroline and why she's just very, very provocative. And the one with Caroline Chioma, I'm not really upset. But you see the one she displayed with Mariam. Me, I invite you to my house for dinner. You now come and you are doing face and you're saying you are bored. I'll kick you out. I'm sorry. I sweated my ass off in the kitchen to prepare that food. And then I make sure that my husband is taking care of the kids whilst I am playing host to you all. Yeah, come and say, I'm bored. The food is coming. The food is not nice. You are making statements. I'm kicking you out. Period. I throw you away. Friendship is not by force. So, except the producers actually do have a legit reason why Laura is just deliberately, calculatively, intentionally provocative and triggering with her words, her body language. There's no other explanation. And I'll say this again. They should not be doing what they're doing. They should not be explaining the show. I love what Big Brother Nigeria does. People will fight. People will want to go crazy over how the housemates carry themselves on the show. But guess what? You will never see any representative from the organizers of Big Brother Nigeria coming out to explain anything. You break your head, you tire. The only time you ever hear any single explanation is when the show has ended. 9 months later, they have their reunion. After the reunion, that is when you will now see Ebuka granting interview. And then in just a few minutes of that interview, Ebuka will now explain. Ebuka will now explain that, oh, I'm not the one that is the coordinator of the show. Do you understand? So
Sorry, can I chip in there? Can I
Yeah.
chip something quickly? Remember, I explained earlier, I said that this is Real Housewife. It's a franchise. It's not Big Brother style. every week, normally, I don't know why they've not started here in Nigeria. They have an executive producer that hosts a show that invites the housewife every week. Depends on, like now, this week now was Carol and Laura that were on the hot seat this week. So this week will be about them. Do you get? Oh yeah,
Yes.
what happened? Why? What do you think? They'll ask them random questions about things that happen in the show. They talk about it, and then you now see, maybe it was Carol that was invited for the interview, right? You now see on social media, Carol and Laura will now be on Twitter. Yeah, mad, yeah, crazy. There'll be fight all over social media. That's how it's done every week. So it shows that, like, yesterday's one wasn't like that. She came in like she was going to talk about loyalty, classism, and one other thing like that about the show. And then people started calling in and then giving their opinion. And then she was just, so basically it's a Real Housewife thing. Like, producers come out, they talk about the show. They talk about the show. They talk about, they give, they might, some might not like Andy Cohen tries to like be unbiased, but in recent time, he's been biased towards certain, he's human, towards certain housewives and all that. And then people start abusing Andy himself. And, you know, the thing is, that's the Real Housewife thing. I might send you like links of like what happens live, how the questions are, and like, it's part of the thing that makes it
No, I
sell.
actually
You know,
one of my faves actually is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I love that person that I literally started following Kocha. There's this other person I was following. I love that one. I even followed their reunion twice. I that particular one the most. Yes, their drama is so juicy. That one.
Yes, and you'll be shocked that sometimes during the reunion, it's something that was said during the Watch What Happens Live that they might bring out. You said they should fire me on Watch What Happens Live. You know, things like that. It causes more conflict for the show. Do you get? It causes more drama. So that's the thing.
I actually love the drama. And if we are talking about the show like this, I will still say it.
I'm telling you, to me, I give them
a good job.
I give them thumbs up, because I won't lie to you. I was one of those people that felt the show was I won't watch it. It's going to be a drag. And you know, they surprised me. I didn't think they were going to do this much. I felt Caroline was going to be the villain of the show. You know, I knew Laura would be hot and all that, but unfortunately, like, it's just crazy. But it's been interesting so far. We are talking about it every week, and let's see how it goes. I know there's more to come. I know Chioma, more things will come. Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Olanike, for that exclusive.
You're welcome.
That just was so sweet. Like, I'll be following you everywhere on social media. Sending me
oh my God.
VIP invites.
No wala.
So we have more people that have joined us on the stage, and I was about to end this live stream, but now they are here. I know Oluwako. You've been like an eel fish. You've been joining, and every time I put you to speak, you remove yourself. So now that you're here, please, briefly, let's hear from you.
Sorry, it was the network.
Hello? We can't hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound muffled. Do you want to free your device? Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, this is better. You're welcome to the conversation.
Okay, so thank you. It was the network kept going off and on.
Okay, so briefly and quickly, let's hear your own perspective. Briefly and quickly.
Okay, I'll start from like the tweets on the internet. I know. And no, I'm sorry. Let me start from the show, like the last episode. And when I was seeing comments, and they're like, "Oh, this person is real, this person is fake," and then I'm like, "Are these people actually watching this show?" Like, because from the beginning, you see that Toyin told Laura this. Laura is taking up the beef from her friend, and she's now using it to judge someone else. And then she's now taking it as being rude and mean Caroline for no reason. And then because of Chioma said, "Oh, we're not friends," that's we're not friends. They're still paining her. That every little thing that Chioma says or does, she's like, what's Chioma doing this? Is she trying to make me feel this? Making me like, do you understand what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just feel like for Toyin, if from the beginning she kept Caroline's name out of her mouth, like all this that happened on the internet today, I feel like all their secrets will still have been kept, and then no one will know that they're fighting because of someone that is married, like a married man. Like nobody will know. Everybody will just be like, it will. The world would know what the actual beef is, because we obviously know that okay, there's a beef between Caroline and Toyin, but we wouldn't know. But she kept putting it on the show in her, is it diary I'll call it,
Yeah,
or
professional. Yeah.
conventional. She just kept on every little thing. Caroline this, Caroline that's like, sis, look for something else. Like the other things you're there, you're the king of fashion. Like promote your business. Leave, like stop being bitter towards someone else that is not even like bringing up your name or even like paying you that much attention. And for Laura, the outburst, to be honest, me, I understand it because number one, I feel like she should have just said what it is that she really wanted to say. Because I feel like she wanted to say, I was fighting for you. I fought with Caroline because of you. And instead of you to fight for me, you're here, you're making it seem that you're letting me be the only one standing and letting everyone gang up against me. At least, even if I'm wrong, yes, I'm wrong. The same way I came to meet you in private, you would have done that, or tell me like when they're not there, because you know that they're all like not on the same good terms with me. We're not on all good terms. Like I don't know if you get what I mean, but then she was not supposed to like bring her out like that in public. Like for me, Tony, I'm totally against Tony on this show because who I thought she was it who I'm seeing like on the show. Like she's just two faced. I'm like, what? Why? Like Caroline never used to mention her ex-husband, but you're the one that kept on bringing up Caroline's ex-husband from the beginning of the show to the last episode that we watched. Like everything, your ex-husband, we know this, but you have your own baggage. Like sis, don't I don't even know what to say again. Like Laura, Caroline, I just don't know. I just
All
don't
right.
know. Like that's all
All
I
right.
have
Thank
to
you, Anu.
say.
Thank you so much, Anu. Very interesting perspective. And let me move on to Gigi. Hi, Gigi.
Hello. Hi. Can you hear
Good
me?
evening. Yes. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining
okay.
us. So please, very
Thank you.
quickly and briefly, let's hear your own thoughts on the show.
Uh, Let me just say I would play a bit of a devil's advocate in this one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Laura is that kind of person or those kind of friends that they expect some friends, like if you are fighting in public, that you two should be by their side even if they are doing wrong, like be by their side and help them to fight. Then when you go home you be like, girl, that thing you did, it wasn't as a you really messed up, something like that, but not in
Yeah.
public, you get. And if you
Yeah.
watch like from the beginning, there was something Laura said Toyin has told her some things about Caroline. So that
Yes.
could have informed her feelings, apart from the
Mhm.
Linda Ikeji stuff. That could have informed also her feelings based on whatever Toyin told
Yeah.
her about Caroline. So it is that same lens that she was using. And for me, that is like almost like what she said, like she being like, oh, I'm going down with the ground for you or something like that.
Yes.
So like the Twitter stuff that came out, I don't know, this morning about both of them and whatever, maybe that is what she told Laura, and Laura has used that lens to look at her that, this lady, she is like evil, she's this, and
Yes.
has always been that. Yeah, Laura is at fault, like for what she did at Miriam's house. It wasn't proper at all. Like even if the food is not nice or anything, like just the fact that you're in somebody's house, just manage it, or better still eat before you come, so that
Abi.
you won't have any problem. Just eat before eat before you come. Make hunger no go kill you for there, something
Abio.
like that. Or so that kind of thing. And yeah, I still think she was also having issues for this Chioma calling her a customer, not a friend or something like that. Yeah, but if we look at it objectively, I
Yeah.
agree that the first message, I'm not talking of when they started dragging themselves, the first message that she sent to the group that next time she's going to bathe her children and do this and do whatever before she start coming wasn't it didn't really carry much harm. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it wasn't something. If you look at the first message, I'm talking just before they started going down to the ground to each other, but
Yeah.
the first message objectively didn't carry insult like about to warrant something that will start destroying homes, like, oh, you're a pimp or
Yeah.
whatever. It didn't. If you want to tell ourselves the truth, it didn't warrant any form of insult. And for me, for Iyabo, to me, she just failed my hand, let me not lie, because her behavior in the fight and her confessionals already knew where she's directing at. Like, she didn't like Laura. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know whether she wants to be friends with Caroline and Chioma or stuff like that. But for you to now be saying, oh, you told Toyin that this girl is not your friend. And if you look towards the ending, Laura was like telling her, we've been friends for like, I don't know, 10 years or something. She has known her for a very long time. And she even asked Toyin that, if it was you who will swap shoes, will I do what you did? Like, won't I stand for you? Toyin even agreed that yes, he will stand. But what do you expect me to do? Ah,
Mm.
like you were saying, you were saying you didn't want her to apologize to you privately. You wanted her to apologize publicly. Like, girl, like, even if you, I don't know, okay, they're not husband and wife, but even if na your sister, like, you vex her like in public, you still have the opportunity to apologize in private. It's true now. Even na your sister, like, sis, no vex. In private, I don't need to come again to the same gathering of people to say, apologize, so sister. Sure, you don't get the apology. Okay, thank you. No, something like that. It doesn't really make any sense. Like, it doesn't. To me, it
Thank
just
you.
showed that Toyin was just looking out for herself. Then Chioma, true, waiting they talk true. When they make calculator, Chioma, now her brain they use put reset button. Now her brain, they go pick her brain for the reset button. Now she then pick because and like looking at it in retrospect, you now I think I'm beginning to see, okay, because I thought their friendship, but me, I don't even really believe in this reality. At a point, some parts is scripted or some things happen. Like after I watched this Amazon series, The Unreal, is a series film. Then you really see how people behave behind the scenes. Producers produce every moment, and if you're not careful, what you are seeing is the reaction to what was being produced. It might
True.
not be
I think I
scripted, but
as well.
it might not be scripted. Like I believe that those insults were not scripted. It's something the producers had produced. They didn't send the message to Mariam. This one precipitated this and this and that, and everything just blew in that meeting that day. And whatever beef they've been holding for themselves in each other in any governor or president's room now came to light. No, it's the truth. That is why if Caroline allegedly was saying the truth about she not knowing the other cast members, they produced it right from the beginning. They've checked their facts. They've known that putting this two and two in this show will, at a point, bring the steam to boil over that kettle. It will cause that kind of rift that
Yeah.
everybody wants to talk about. So they are not stupid. That they want the clicks, they want the money. And if it was just good old, we are going to Bahamas, we are going to this one the next day, nobody will watch it. They will not make
Yeah.
any money. So that's just it.
Thank
So
you so
that's
much.
yeah, that's just my own. But Chioma, I can really
We rest
understand
our
now.
case
I
there.
was beginning to understand why maybe Caroline said they are no more friends and she even blocked her. So something must have happened. Like if you see her, like when she even said, oh, that Choma, then you were even telling Choma or something like you always like to fight with us so you can get more followers. And if you see the reaction in Choma's confession, she's like, like something I told you. She wasn't expecting that part to burst. Like, and if like okay, if Laura has shifted from Caroline to Chioma, then at a point it will start precipitating and everything will, the whole temperature. But for me, Toyin and Laura needs to go and recheck her friendship. She also needs to recheck herself. Like, find out the reason why she doesn't like her. If it is because of inherited battles from the Linda Ikeji, or because of what Toyin have said. If it's because of what Toyin said, then to me, like this moment, she already proved that the lady doesn't have your back when push comes to shove. She doesn't have your back. Like you come in here and say you're an emotional person, you will talk to the person later. Later, you will talk to the person, and that is what pained Laura. If you notice, she wasn't even crying in the whole time they were holding or throwing wigs at each other or whatever. Is that Toyin? It's just like you stand like this, and maybe you are in the battle or war front. Then your co-fighter now went to join the enemy. That is the way she saw it in her head. You get. So that's the way she saw it. That was what really pained her in the whole
Yeah.
thing, and that was
Guys,
why she started
let me
shouting.
just quickly give Tope the floor because we're about to round up. So Tope, if you're there, please very quickly, very briefly, let's hear your own thoughts.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Good evening.
Great. So, Gigi has said a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but it looks like I'll just add a bit more because I know Caroline on a personal level. You guys don't know her.
Okay.
She's definitely camera perfect. I don't know if there's anything like that because obviously she's wanting people to see what she wants you guys to see, basically. In terms of Laura definitely has an issues because from what we've seen, Laura is a different kind of person. I don't know whether you guys understand that not everybody can act like the norms. Like not everybody will do what you expect them to do. Laura is one of those people. And sometimes it could come across as being too blunt. And I think what Laura's problem is she doesn't just understand when she's overdoing it. It's good to be real. Maybe she had this at the back of her mind to say, okay, I'm going on this program. I'm going to be as real as possible. Right. And probably she was trying to do that, but she obviously went over it by stepping on toes, by unnecessarily being overreactive. And according to what Gigi said again, in terms of the message I read is over and over. There was absolutely nothing wrong about the message. People pass their aggression. People react to things in different ways. On the dining table, she could have raised it, but some people takes their time to react to things, not necessarily addressing it there and there. It doesn't necessarily means that she's not matured. But I guess what happened then, and maybe I do this as well. When something happens at that point in time, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not liking it, but maybe I don't necessarily want to talk about it at that time because maybe I'm too angry, and I feel that maybe if I say it, I might say what I don't necessarily want to say. And that's why she probably took her about 24 hours to go on WhatsApp and then send that message. Now, when she sent the message, according to her, she said she wasn't angry. But of course, like if you've been watching the previous episode, because there has been issues in the past, and that is why Caroline kind of overreacted to that message. Because after she sent that message, even if Caroline has just gone back to say, you know what? Please don't talk to me like that. Maybe, just maybe, she could have retracted and just said, oh, actually, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. But rather, Caroline just went back and just said, actually, you got her, and just went over and was saying things that wasn't really necessary. Now, with Caroline definitely has an issues. She has an issues because if you've been following Caroline even before the whole show, she's been in that position where she would easily blame people for her mishaps. I don't know whether it's fair to say that, but her divorce and everything was all over. It wasn't an easy thing for her, and because Linda, in a way, was part of that, I felt that she saw that opportunity to be able to pass that aggression on Laura. And maybe that is one of the things that is really happening then. And it's just a pity because Laura already has issues with so many people. Everyone has decided to close their eyes on that good part of her. So she's not completely bad. She definitely lacks manners. Don't get me wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think majority of what is happening there is more or less like a reactive, how do I put it? More like a reaction rather than of things that has happened even before the show. So they all brought those baggages onto the show and just using the show to kind of showcase what they could do in terms of defending myself or and to me, to be honest, none of them is I don't know what you guys call class, but none of them is classy. What's class with Chioma anyways? Is class about wearing designers, and is class about being with Nayo? Is class about, I don't know what class is, because for me, for someone who cannot manage your time for such a very big show where the whole world is watching you, and you still come around onto the table and you still don't really necessarily feel remorse, for me is classless, right? Iyabo, well, everybody knows Iyabo, like you say, you don't go for Iyabo. If you go for Iyabo, you know she's gonna come for you and everything. And she's probably trying so hard to to be like that big sis for all of them. And I see what she's trying to do there. So I really don't have much to say. And Toyin is very real. Toyin is very real. Again, you could tell why Laura is a bit disappointed in Toyin, because even Mel listening to Laura, she's somebody that she thinks that if you're a friend, you have to be loyal to. And that is the same mistake she's making with her sister, because for each time people talk about her sister, you can see how she's all over the place. She's not herself. So you can't really blame her. Somebody that's got that kind of mentality will definitely have that same kind of mentality with her friend, because that's what she would do for her sister or for her friend. But unfortunately, she fails to realize that people have your friends for different reasons. You can't expect people to inherit your problems. You can't be the one that start problems, and you expect people to kind of fight for you even when you're clearly wrong. And maybe Toyin could have done something better, because I know that after she apologized to Toyin was a bit quiet. She wasn't really into the whole thing, when they were fighting, and she was just a bit quiet. She was watching. Maybe one thing maybe Toyin could have done earlier rather than be towards the end of the show was, taking her aside to say, okay, Laura, I know who you are. Because sometimes when you're somebody's friend, you need to know them. You will definitely know what calms them down. You could definitely, I don't know how close they are in terms of their friendship. Maybe the old friendship started 10 years ago, but maybe they weren't really that friends, like what Laura was really taking it to that level, And for Caroline, I feel that Caroline just blew everything out of proportion from that message. The fight Caroline was having with Laura was clearly not because of that message. It was a pile-up of things she's been through, maybe from her sister Linda, and it's just a pity no one is talking about that, things she's been through with maybe from different blogs and all the things that's happened. And that was just an opportunity to kind of showcase herself, to say, listen, I am who I am. I can fight for myself. I'm not going to allow people. Because if you listen to her, she kept on saying, oh, I'm not going to take what you guys are doing anymore to me. I'm not going to. And I'm just looking at all the previous episodes. What have they really been doing to her on that particular show? I don't really see much of the things they've done to her. You're going to the show, you're definitely going to expect some things to happen. But she kept on saying, and she kept on banking on, and I could just read through her that it's a way of defending herself for something that she's had a pile up of for several years, maybe from her divorce, maybe from the different gossips, and that was just an opportunity. So the fight wasn't only with Laura, it was for everybody to get that message out there to say, listen, I'm not that lady you could bully and push to that side. And that's where she got it wrong, because for me, if you classy, like what Chioma was in, Chioma was still calm even when the all eats was on. And I think Chioma is the smartest of them. You know why? Chioma did not see that side of Caroline. I can tell you that she never thought that Caroline, because the things that Caroline was saying were really, really heavy. They were too much for me, because even though I could see that she wasn't at fault. Nobody was at fault. They all, they were fighting and everything. But Chioma was looking at her because maybe she had never seen that side of Caroline before, And aside that, nobody wants to be with a friend, with somebody that at the slightest opportunity that you guys have issues, she starts saying all sorts of things like that. And Chioma knows well enough that if this girl could do this to Laura, then if I have that kind of issue with Caroline in future, which is bound to happen anyways between friends, maybe this is where she's going to come out all out. So I better just mind my business, protect myself, avoid that from happening to me in future. And that is what I would do. And maybe that was why she kept quiet. So she could have been quiet because she was surprised. She could have been quiet because she knew that if she continues being a friend with this girl, then this is definitely bound to happen. Because in herself, Caroline also needs some healing. Because she's still living in this illusion of, oh, I was once a billionaire wife, and for that reason, the whole world is at my feet. Everything is not about money. And for Laura, who is always fighting for her sister, her family, and everything, there are other ways you could protect families, not necessarily this way. So she also needs to learn from that. And of course, she lacks some manners, like you said. So obviously, she also needs to learn from that. And for Iyabo, maybe Iyabo, you being a moderator, you are a moderator, you can't be one-sided. Iyabo wasn't a good moderator, unfortunately. Maybe she wanted to, but you could hear from her confessional sessions that she didn't like Laura, because even after the time the whole thing was getting heated, I started out to say, okay, guys, just stop. I've only called you guys here to see whether we can resolve things. In fact, the first statement she made about, oh, we are all here because of you, Laura, I think is a bit too much. If you want to be a moderator, you can't call such a gathering and say, oh, we are all here because of one person. He already passes that wrong message. And if you listen very well, for somebody who is already pained, who is hungry, that nobody because Laura is fighting a lot of forces, because the truth remains that nobody really understands Laura, and it's just a shame. Nobody really understands Laura because she has this kind of weird attitude. And
Yeah.
if
Okay.
you really exposed, you know that people can be very weird, like very, very weird. And it's just a pity that she's not as good as Caroline, who will always be very perfect in front of cameras. Do you get what I'm saying? So in a nutshell, they all get their body, they all get for their
One thing you should
body.
understand is I was listening to Tamara Mori. If you watch T and Tamara, it was also a reality show about these twins. There was something she said. She said, we don't, like, they tried to produce her and her sister's show. That is, they tried to create situations. Because if you listen to the interview or whatever the call that Caroline had, she said she sent a video message or whatever to this, but she said a lot of things concerning about that night. Now I agree with what Tokwe said. There are some people that, if they're fighting, like, if they're insulting themselves, they don't really want to say anything. They're trying to control their mouth. And when they'll go home, they'll be like, I fucked up. I should have said this, I should have said that. It will now like start replaying in their head what should have happened. But
guys.
for me, I would say people should watch it and
Gigi,
watch it. Oh, sorry.
Gigi, sorry, apologies. I'm sorry, but oh my God, Topet said a lot of things. And thank you so much for sharing your perspective, and I have to respect the fact that you said you're close to Caroline. So obviously there are things that
I'm not close to her, but I know I'm not close to her, but I know her, right? And if you've been following Caroline even before the show, if you know her, things that's happened to her is a lot. And sometimes
okay, so it's not like
so if you've been following her, from her divorce and everything, a lot has happened to her, and she clearly needs to let it go and forget what has been said about her. She doesn't need to bring that over.
Now, when you say you know Caroline, is it that you know her on a personal level or just from social media, online?
I'm saying if you've been following her from social media and things that's been happening,
Okay, sorry. Let me just say some things, And I'm saying this not to water down your point, but there were some things you said at the start, and I think just for the benefit of doubt, if anybody cares to do this, I think people should go back and watch the show from episode 1 if you have time. And I'm saying so because, Tope, you mentioned some things. You said the fight of yesterday's episode was like a transfer of aggression from Caroline towards Laura because of the Linda Ikeji thing. And I want to correct that, because from the episode 1 of the show, from what we have been seeing, I'm not talking about off the scenes now, but from what we've been seeing from episode 1, Caroline had never referred to Linda Ikeji. It was at a boho party when Laura had threatened repeatedly to Iyabo that she's going to slap Caroline, that Caroline wanted them to sort it out, right, at a boho party. And Laura, to her defense, used her sister's name. If it's about my sister, Linda, don't even talk about it. I will not take it lightly with you. And I don't know how many of you have noticed this on the show. When Laura is to clear the air with Caroline, instead of her to go directly about the business that both of them should be trashing out, she's always using her sister as a shield, which for me, I feel like that is what people who are weak use. That's what they do. It's like a defense mechanism. You have you obviously do not have any clear issue with Caroline. And just like Tope rightly said, and Gigi also rightly said, in fact, a lot of people that have been talking today, they've established, it's obvious that it's based off of the things that Toyin has said to Laura about Caroline, about her own personal beef that Laura has inherited. So what we should actually note here is that obviously Laura has inherited Toyin's beef towards Caroline, and she specifically needs to remove herself from that zone, because that is what is enabling all of her aggressions. And if you go back and watch yesterday's episode, you will see that Laura was the one that came spoiling for a fight. She already informed her husband at home that she will slap Laura and Caroline. She said it in Igbo, Agamatigife or something like that. And when she got there at the meeting, she had already started removing her earrings. When ladies wants to fight, when they are wearing hoop earrings, what they do is they remove it first so that they will not drag their ears and cut it. Laura was already showing. That's why I said about Laura's body language. Even if Laura is not angry, her body language is giving off an entirely different thing. So Laura had gone there, she had removed earrings, and she was the first person that has said to Caroline, the next time you say anything about my sister, I will get physical on you. Caroline wasn't talking about her sister. Caroline was saying, whenever I want to trash out things with you, always bring your sister. And that is to also show that Laura does not legit have a direct issue with Caroline. If you notice, anytime they want to exchange words, Laura's own words of attack is, why are you talking about my sister? But nobody is talking about your sister. I just thought I should clear the air on that. And to be very honest, we've spent over 3 hours on this conversation, and I'm actually really tired. I don't want it to seem like I'm trying too much to convince people to dislike Laura. That is not what we're doing here. We're actually saying what we're seeing on the show. But I think some of us are actually misconstruing some of the things that we are seeing. And what I'm going to urge you all to do, if you must, if you like, please, if you like, just go back. And this is no promotion for Showmax, honestly, but just so that we don't, direct aggression unnecessarily to anybody that does not deserve it. I think we should all go back with an open mind. If you care, watch the show again. It's on Showmax. Watch it from episode 1, and then by yourself, you can make your own judgment. All right. And this is where I'm going to leave it. We've actually talked a lot. Amara, I feel so bad that I wouldn't be allowing you to speak for too much.
Okay, Glory, can you hear me? No? Can you hear me? I don't know why I can't. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Okay, guys, as I said, this is not me. Can you guys hear me? Please, if you can hear me, just let me know in the comment section, because honestly, I don't even know. There's no sound from my end. Can you all hear me? Please, if you can hear me, just... Okay, now you can hear me. Thank the Lord. So, guys, as I said, I just thought I should clear the air about that. I don't think Caroline was transferring any aggression to Laura, about whatever beef she and Linda Ikeji has. No, Laura was actually the one that was throwing Linda Ikeji in Caroline's face, and she got served. Quite deservedly so. Jesus Christ, English will not kill me. Anyways, thank you all so much for your time. You guys are the realest MVPs. You all came through really hard today. Imagine 3 hours, 23 freaking minutes discussing the Real Housewives of Lagos. Showmax and the producers of that show, they need to give us some rewards. They need to give us some accolades. And I am begging them for free subscriptions for all of us for the next 1 month. So this is where we're going to end today's conversation. Thank you all so much for giving off this time. Consistently over 200 people stayed here with us for over 3 hours. I am wowed. I am amazed and I am grateful. I do not take your dedication, your commitment to this channel for granted. Thank you all so much. God bless all of you. And guys, please listen. There's more videos coming on this channel. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, guys, you're missing. And listen, subscription to this channel is free. Nobody pays money to subscribe to any channel on YouTube, please. So if you are yet to subscribe to join this family, hit the red subscribe button. There are times that I upload videos and some of you send messages that, no, you don't upload anymore. I say, hey, Jesus, me that I upload videos almost like every day. It's just that this period I was on vacation for like a month. I wasn't really posting every day, but guys, I am back. Okay, so videos will be on here daily from now on. Please subscribe to my channel, and whilst you're at that, click the white bell button. That's called the post notification bell. If you do so, anytime I upload a new video, you will definitely get a lot of my videos. And if you're wondering, what does Glory Elijah do on this channel, guys? This is what we do. We analyze, we review with detailed, factual, accurate information, analysis of reality TV shows, all right, movies, and trending social topics. Can you all hear me? Someone is saying that they can't hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just let me know in the comment section, please, if you can hear me. Can you all hear me? But anyways, I've talked too much and that's it. So thank you all so much for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend, all right? Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure you have fun. Make sure you book a spa session because your bum will be paying you after all this sits down that you've been doing. So just make sure you go to the spa tomorrow, get pampered, and I'll see you all on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye. Hey, stop right here. Don't go anywhere. You are especially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Glory Elijah, and this right here is Frankly Speaking with Glory. I am the girl with the tea. I give detailed analysis of reality TV shows like Big Brother Naija, like Nigerian Idols, like The Voice Nigeria. You know, basically any reality TV show that actually interests you, it automatically becomes my interest as well. I literally carry off on my head. I give detailed analysis, I give detailed reviews. I run commentaries also because I want us to have fun. I want us to catch cruise. I want us to, you know, vibe to stuff like that. And reality TV shows are not the only kind of content that I put out on my channel. I also do movie reviews. So you see this Glory Elijah of a girl, she's a very, very boring sport. Guys, for real. I am super boring. However, whenever I feel like passing my time, you know, just having my own fun, chilling, being in a zen mode, I catch up on movies, which I find very, very interesting or exciting. But also, guys, I love reviewing those annoying ones because, hey, we have to call them out. You cannot come and waste my data. You cannot come and waste my precious time watching some really annoying movies. And I also talk about trending social topics because, of course, this life has to be balanced, okay? It's not all about entertainment and fun all the time. We also need to talk about those serious issues that concerns me, also concerns you as well. You're about to have a blast on this channel. I also share my life experiences from time to time. Yes, that is when people ask me to talk about it. But if people don't ask me to talk about it, sometimes I do not feel the need to talk about it. I like keeping my private things private. But once again, you are welcome to my YouTube channel, and as I told you before, you are in the right space. Trust me, you will be so addicted to this channel. People are going to be asking you, what's happening with you? Are you okay? And hey, don't forget to turn on post notification, all right? That is the best way for you to always receive alerts of my videos. So you see what I'm doing on my screen right now, just do exactly that and you'll be cool.